When a people are taught to forget their past, someone else gets to decide their future. Memory is a form of resistance. There comes a moment when knowing the truth isn't enough. That's when a people must decide, will they act or remain controlled?
Rich rising, rich rising. I see reparations on the horizon. You know, I missed you guys. And shout out to my replay gang. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the platform. Okay. I also have membership options that come with perks. You could check it out. It should be on your dashboard. And don't forget to check the links, okay? Calls to actions, other appearances, my urban fiction work, sci-fi, audiobooks. Shout out to the person who bought 11 units. That's 11 books, y'all. I appreciate y'all. The support, the engagement, and I'm rocking with y'all the long way. So I won't make no long speech. I did miss you guys. Tomorrow we are having a special guest. Y'all want to know who the guest is? Well, it's going to be Arthur Watkins, okay? Arthur Watkins Jr. of American Freedmen Legal Fund. I want to make sure I get that right. And what we're going to be talking about is the importance of preserving our ancestral burial grounds. I did reach out to him. I remember telling you all about how I found out about the history of the first Black church in the Bronx, and that there's an Asian market that sits on that site today. So the bodies have been exhumed, the church is gone, but it's a busy part of the Bronx. I used to live there as a child with my granny and my mama. Um, Then when I, moved in with my dad, used to visit them there all the time. I used to work in that section of the Bronx too. Okay, shop there, go get my eyes checked there, and have my first, like, when the first glasses came out that change colors, like they put the dark tint but it go to light. I love those daggone glasses. And I believe that the eye optical place is still there. So I'm going to go check that out and see. Nostalgia, y'all. Nostalgia. Also, as a child, we used to go, my parents used to take me and my sister out for these, like, outings as a child. You go out with your parents and stuff, movies, and then to a restaurant over there in the same area. And so when I found out about it, I was like, oh no. So the goal is to put a historical marker there. Arthur is also actively engaged with people like in Virginia because they're trying to build databases, right? Data centers. But the land that they're going for, what it seems like, is they're going for our ancestral land. And a lot of things have gone, I'm not going to say unchecked because there are organizations who have been active before, right? So a lot of us are just joining um, in the movements of preserving their sites. And so, it's really time. It's really time that we get active on all fronts. It should not be a space where there's construction or redevelopment on our ancestral sites and nobody knows it's a site, right? Also, what I'm finding is that newsletters, I signed up for one. I'm not going to say the name, but their demographic seems to be the Bronx and Latinos. And what I'm noticing with the Latinos now, when they write their articles and stuff, they skip our history. And this article goes to 1898. If you think about it, the island of Puerto Rico, I believe, was acquired by then. the elite were allowed to come back and forth between the island and New York, what would become New York, in 1899. And then by, I think it was 1912, they became a territory officially where they could migrate back and forth, from New York to the island, stuff like that. But this article mentioned somebody who obviously was white. They lived in another section of the Bronx. They didn't mention Black Americans at all until they made it seem like we migrated to the Bronx. Now, we were low in numbers in the Bronx because the Bronx was a part of Westchester County and stuff like that. But even if it was Westchester County before it was named the Bronx, it still was the same landmass, demographics, and we still developed it. So the importance is that when we find burial grounds, we have a historical marketplace there so they know that the ones who built not only the infrastructure, but the economy and the civil rights that everybody enjoys lived in that area at one point in time. So Arthur will be here tomorrow and we will discuss those matters. Okay. And I'll let him explain everything to us there. Some of y'all may be familiar with Arthur already. I know. However, it's about y'all having the information and people just finding out about the information. And so since I don't like I haven't collaborated with him on that work, I'm gonna let him tell it to you guys. Also, I think that within my capacity and just being new to this certain type of work, just having my nonprofit established, that it was only right to call him in to get the market established. He's a litigant. I'm not, so he knows all the loopholes and everything that he can that I may not be privy to. So I'm really grateful that even though he's swamped, he took the time to look over my information about the burial site. So, shout out to Arthur. And so tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be live here discussing those matters. Okay, y'all be sure to join us, or be sure to catch the replay, and please share it. We need all hands on deck throughout, not just in New York now, various regions. Why? Because I think everybody should start checking. Um, and some of y'all probably already know where the burial grounds and stuff is. I act like y'all don't know nothing. Some of y'all are, well, y'all all smart. But some of this stuff may be y'all expertise, but y'all just didn't think to, look and see if maybe in the next block where there's a new supermarket, a new movie theater, or something like that, to go ahead and check and see if the ancestors were buried in the area or even, he's saying this, under those new development. So we'll discuss that. But I don't want to, be up here monologuing on that because we have a whole. I scheduled the time for an hour and a half tomorrow. Please come through, even if you peek in for a little while. But we're gonna jump right into the videos that I have lined up. I don't plan to be up here for 2 hours, but I'll probably be up here more than 2 hours, right? But I'm pretty tired. And I do have some meetings later on. So, ready for this, y'all? Fair use.
In other words, you can have. So you a Cuban before? No, I've never dated a Puerto Rican. Wait, yes, I've dated a Puerto Rican. I told you. I said it. No, that's not outside the race. That's not. No, that's not African American, man. Drewski. That's Latino. They speak another language, brother.
I figured I started off with some jokes. Now he know. And what Drewski could have really um got him at was, well, what type was she? Was she an Afro or the Spanish conquistadors? Like, what was her? Or don't even say that because Umar's pretty, he's pretty savvy with that, right? Try to see if she was the Snow Bunny Latina or, the African Latina. Should have went a little deeper, but we'll take it. Fair use. So look at Southern. Let's see what her name is. Southern Mama. And she's based in the USA. Okay, only have one name change and been on VSAT since 2010 of June. She states here, fun fact, the modern U.S. immigrant population is now roughly 25% larger than the entire population of foundational Black Americans, a term used to define those whose direct family lines trace completely back to colonial times before the Revolutionary War. Driven by modern immigration policies, more than 50.2 million people living in the United States today are foreign-born. By contrast, there are roughly 40 million Black Americans with foundational lineage, and that is a lot. We actually are larger than 40 million. I know it don't seem that way, but if we broke down every ethnic group, we are the second largest ethnic group outside of the Germans. Some argue even more. Okay, and that's why we want to delineate and disaggregate our numbers. So then here goes Sam. Black people and illegal immigrants are not competing for the same set of jobs. Southern Mama says, I don't care. Immigrants should never outnumber founding stock Americans or foundational Black Americans. He says the founding stock collectively decided to stop having babies and opening the borders. Here I go. You both have to stop. We are more than 40 million strong and not all of us vote Democrat. When you say we aren't competing for the same set of jobs, who are you trying to convince? Us or yourself? We are systematically locked out of key job industries that we fought to break. We still have foundational Black American farmers being harassed by white folks. We are in every market, every industry, but this last legal wave of invasion has even our youth unable to get jobs in typical after-school teen first jobs. Ethnocide and economic castration are two of many systems that foundational Black Americans are facing today. What very few care to admit is that all immigration harm foundational Black American communities. Now, I am with the original post's comment, but even she has more learning to do as far as our population being more than 40 million. And it isn't about simply outnumbering us. It is the erasure and purposely done lockout from home ownership, construction jobs, teen employment. And for people who never fought for a civil right in their life or had their farms sabotaged and stolen from them, they sure do benefit from Black farmers' legal battles with our government. Here goes Sam. I was H-1B computer programmer and now house flipper. I have met Nigerian computer programmers, Haitian and Jamaican construction guys, but almost zero African Americans. Here go me. We built a first world nation. Those groups you mentioned are a reflection of their homeland. So your anecdotal could never equate to a people that built the White House twice. Please take your ass on somewhere this great Saturday morning. And maybe you didn't see an African American because it is a misnomer. Thanks. Drop some receipts. Foundational Black Americans, also known as FBAs, the descendants of U.S. freedmen, literally and figuratively built the economic, physical, and cultural foundation of the nation. Their forced and free labor infrastructure work and technological innovations directly shaped early American society. Physical infrastructure and landmarks Enslaved and freed laborers quarried, cut, and laid the stone for iconic federal buildings, laid down vital transportation networks, and cleared vast landscapes to build early American commerce. Okay? And we got some resources right here: enslaved labor and the construction of the White House Historical Association. How many buildings in D.C.? WUSA. Then it goes on to say the U.S. Capitol and White House laborers cut stone and provided heavy construction to build the Capitol's foundational landmarks. Railroads and roads, generations of workers laid miles of track and cleared dense wilderness to physically connect American commerce. Innovation and industry. Post-emancipation generations formed the backbone of heavy industry, steel production, inventing everyday utilities. Yeah, I had to get on them, okay? They're going to stop playing with us. Now, the white lady tried, but she has to get more, more knowledge about herself too, okay? So if you think that you should bring up foundational Black Americans and you're not a foundational Black American, you have to know how to defend the points, like I showed them. But how dare he? I was an H-1B programmer and I've seen Haitian and Jamaicans. And meanwhile, their homelands look like shit. Now, Jamaicans might have a plus over them. They have a better tourism and they do have 10 houses some places. But in certain parts of Jamaica, like the country, I guess more country for them, not our country type, but for them, they have some nice houses over there. But they want to leave the island. They don't want to fight for shit. Not my business, not my place. But don't bring them up if you don't want me to drag you in there. But anyway, fair use.
So I'm like you guys. I celebrate American history, which is our history, every month out the year. And I hope that for parents and kids that go home, now we have the internet, now we have tools at our hand. And no, you aren't being taught Black American history in schools, but now we can still go out and find that history. It's not like when we grew up and maybe it was buried someplace in the encyclopedia. All you got to do is go type in some words and you can get it right now and understand where you've come from and how special you are.
Can I just end with this one thing? These four brothers sitting here, we didn't all come from Africa. And there was there was a country before 1492. And our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here.
That's history only from us players. No, we love you guys. Happy American History Month. We're back with some more Players Only.
Has anybody traced their ancestry to 1492? I never hit 1492. I wonder what I didn't even look at the paperwork to see what it looked like, to be honest. But I do wonder. I guess I could go research on my own. Let's see here. I was about to fair use. Now watch this. Fair use.
Make the best music. Well, they kind of started the whole jazz era, didn't they? Rock and roll, Jimi Hendrix. You think you can name like a real pioneer, someone really influential in music that's not black? Oh shit. You know what? I'm not sure if I could. Because I'm thinking sort of Ray Charles and sort of people like that. Oh, we talked to someone earlier, they said like rock and roll, it came from blues, R&B again, rap, jazz, it's all from like black people.
They be so quick to like kind of put us down, and then everything they like is Black American. Fair use.
Passports. I'm sorry. Like, I've traveled probably more than a lot of you guys on this panel, right? And this is not even a flex or anything, but I've seen how the police and the government treats Black people. You guys don't deserve anything. I'm sorry. Slavery happened. Okay. 9/11 happened. Okay. Get over it. People have moved on.
Do you think FBA deserve Do you think
No, you guys
FBA?
don't deserve anything. I'm sorry. Like,
I'm
you only
not.
deserve what you worked for. And what did you work for? You specifically.
You in
Not
America?
so.
You,
Yes.
oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, okay. All right. That answers the
Yeah. So,
question. Cause
like,
you
you
want, cause
didn't.
you
You
want,
didn't.
because you,
You're
cause you want to be over here. Cause of who? Cause of who?
not you. Not you
Oh,
though. I don't know.
because
It
of
wasn't you.
who?
What did you
My,
specifically
my,
do? You didn't do anything.
my,
You just sat on your ass and made a
my.
live. Like, you didn't do anything. You're not a productive
You're,
member of society.
you're jealous. I get it.
So this is a TikTok friendly version of what she said. This Nigerian medical student that claimed in the TikTok live that she attends NYU and she'll be starting her residency in a few weeks. So I know TikTok makes a lot of you aware of things. You know, there was a woman that claimed to be a doctor and she went to Uganda, and because of her skin color, she was able to successfully unalive more than 100 Ugandan babies. In the United States, medical racism exists. And I remember reading an article several years ago that between the United States and Canada, we needed 120,000 doctors because of the shortages of doctors in Canada and the United States. Canada allowed dozens and dozens, actually hundreds, of Nigerian students to attend medical school in Canada, and they graduated and became doctors. The United States is doing something similar, but not on such a larger scale. However, this NYU Nigerian student said that no black Americans attend her medical classes. They're all immigrants. She said a lot of blatantly disrespectful things, and she said that black Americans would rather be nail techs. You know that ain't fucking true. And eyelash technicians. And that black Americans don't want to go to school and blah, blah, blah. She said a lot of the normal white supremacist tropes in her rant. Again, she attends NYU and will be doing her residency soon in the United States. She made a lot of disparaging, disgusting comments about black.
Travel more. I have 3 passports. I'm sorry. Like, I've traveled.
Um, yeah, these people are getting beside themselves. She also mentioned NYU, which is definitely in New York. It's short or the acronym for New York University. If you look at the screen, I have how we have to start calling state boards. So, to the people who are good at finding social media people who are disrespectful to foundational Black Americans, please do right and give us that information. We are trying to stop these people, foreigners, immigrants, first generation, second generation. Hell, I think they even have some with 3 generations here. Those people shouldn't be in nursing. So, in the event you do, and I don't get the memo, well, she's in school, so you would naturally contact her school with the information. You could report her to, I think it's DHS, Department of Homeland Security. And in the event that you come into somebody else who's already a nurse, already a doctor, nurse practitioner, um, whatever it may be in healthcare, you can call the state board or do it by, I think, online here. So it says nurses and other healthcare professions. For other licensed health workers, oversight belongs to New York State Education Department Office of the Profession. So I guess we could call that too, or click that link if you go Google it and report her ass. But we need her information first, y'all. Right? And so that's the information there. They say who they cover: nurses, dentists, pharmacists, mental health practitioners, and physical therapists. I need to call this for my son because the dentist did some foul shit to him, and we do have the hospital paperwork. What they do: issue licenses, set practice rules, and process professional misconduct complaints through the New York State Professional Misconduct Enforcement System. How to contact: file a discipline complaint form or reach out via the New York State Professions. And okay, I think that's the same thing, right? That's two of the same kind. Yeah. So I can remove one. So we can't allow them to keep disrespecting us and thinking they should still have access to our education system, access to our jobs, access to our elderly patients. Elderly patients are vulnerable populations, elderly, children, and disabled. They can't have access to none of that. Let them go back home, okay? And how they whatever they got to do over there is what they got to do over there. I don't care if they live in the dirty ass water of Nigeria. Okay, how do you get such an such a good opportunity and screwed up? NYU is not no small fry. It's a very good school in New York, and she's not the first immigrant who I've seen on TikTok that attended NYU that was disrespectful. So I don't know what's going on, but they don't need that access to education if that's how they're going to act. And that's just where I'm at with everybody. Fair use.
This is your traffic jam in Nigeria. This shit is so underdeveloped. You need a bridge for the sidewalks. You can't even walk to work in Nigeria. Imagine going to work and explaining to your boss why you late. I was caught in traffic. This is the traffic. A foot jam. Not a traffic jam, a foot jam. Why don't they just walk through the ditch? What? Do they not want to get dirty? How can you get dirtier than this? And these are the people that's talking about they came and built America. You built what? You can't even build a sidewalk. Look at the argument. Who would argue over this shit? Shout out to the Nigerian tollway enforcement, man. Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
That is Black Man. If you want to follow, yes, Black Man. And if you would like to follow him, he's on TikTok. He couldn't even finish the video. He was over there laughing so hard. But didn't she say she was from Nigeria? I mean, you coming from that place and you looking down on us? Oh no. They need a reality check. And the reality check is going back to that and never being allowed back over here. Fair use.
To all you blacks in here, keep this in mind. Hope you enjoy your next meal next time you eat out. There is a Facebook group that I am a part of, which is this one that I'm reading from, and it is for white servers. We have come up with a plan. When a table of black diners come in and place their orders, we walk back to the kitchen to get your food when ready. There is always a blind spot in the kitchen, and we are licking our fingers and touching your food. If it happens to be a Texas Roadhouse or Logan's, those rolls are full of our white saliva. Some of the cooks are in on this too. Think they are playing? They aren't. Believe me, this has been going on since y'all started this nonsense with Carmelo, the candy bar Anthony crap. By the way, the group has over 400K members. Enjoy y'all's food.
Yeah, so they're spending the food of black people, and they say it's because of this whole Carmelo Anthony thing. Understand that they've been doing this. Once again, this is just reasoning for them to do their weird behavior. And understand this, right? If y'all hated black people so much, right? If I really hated a group of people, I would never go near them. I would never talk to them. I would never interact with them. No. This is behavior of people who are obsessed with a group of people. This is obsession behavior. But for all the black people who constantly talk about black businesses and black-owned businesses, this is why I don't talk about black-owned businesses and why I will always support black-owned businesses. But what's your thoughts about this? Like, comment, repost, share for more.
Yeah, I saw the Nigerians pushing their fire truck, and I also saw the Ghanaians throwing water balloons at a fire. These, I don't, Like, be humble, you know, be real, real humble, but they just can't. So I think, that it's just time for them. I think that the ancestors even think it's time for them to go because they just can't shut the fuck up. The ancestors making them talk like that. So we just get mad because I think they've been trying to wake us for a while. And they like, what is wrong with y'all? Westchester County was shaking and rumbling. Sometimes I don't want to say it was an earthquake, but it was some shaking and rumbling going on that parts of the Bronx felt it. And y'all gotta, I don't know what live it was, but I said it on the live. I said, I was telling somebody on TikTok in the comment section because she was laughing. This ain't the first time New York was rumbling. And she was like, yeah, they were saying that the immigrants, is causing like, natural things to happen, like ground wise and stuff, earthquakes and all of that. And then she was trying to be cute. She was like, and New York was rumbling too, and put some laughing emojis. And I was like, yeah, my ancestors are upset. So if we got the most immigrants, you think they ain't gonna shake shit up over here? Like, we can't think that places that are sanctuary cities where a lot of immigrants and the progressives in New York are just running amok themselves. And you think, and everywhere, I just found a burial ground. In our reparations hearings, they was talking about a burial ground in Staten Island that has an Arab gas station on top of it. You don't think New York is going to get hit? A little shaking, a little rumbling? That means get your asses off of them, God damn it, and get off our backs and out of our lanes. And did y'all see that New Jersey representative? Um, it was a tweet. I don't think I screen recorded it, but she had got arrested for protesting ICE and literally elbowed the man, like kind of was from the back, elbowing him. And then her representative, Ayanna Presley, I don't know what happened. She don't seem to be doing good with her case. And she was like, we'll figure it out. And Representative Ayanna Presley was like, sis, we got your back, sis. Why somebody in the comments posted a how you call it? A tweet by her that said, we're not gonna allow people to just get away with breaking the law, full stop. And I and I reposted it. I was like, yeah, Representative Ayanna Presley. Well, I think it's Representative Presley. Your sister, this ain't age well for your sister now. I could be a motherfucker sometime. But yeah, they are literally like, hey, Shani. Hey, Swizzy. Hey, Allie. I think I saw Allie. Yep, sure did. But she literally hit the ICE officer. I mean, her whole body was just, she was really upset. Hey, Angelique, how are you? And they need to make an example out of her. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all can say, well, what about the Hawaii? Make an example out of them too. And before y'all start, I also have a live where I talked about the white immigrants who are getting deported too. The thing is, they're going back to infrastructure. I don't hear them really making no noise. Then again, I'm only in certain white spaces when I want to go be nosy and see what they up to. Because we still, as you can see, they spitting in food. So we got to still be on top of them too. They doing a lot more than that, but I'm just saying. So, and white people, if you believe it or not, are taking care of their immigrant class, meaning telling them that if their family have not been in this country for a certain amount of time, guess what? They are just guests here. I showed that tweet too. And the problem is, I'm just be honest because I guess we should just be honest with the melanated immigrant. Y'all a motherfucking pain in the ass. Y'all really are. And y'all are so entitled. Did y'all see the Haitians? We built this country. And if we gotta go, Trump gotta go. His wife, his family got. Honey, when they said land of immigrants, it was in the 1920s. Y'all wasn't allowed in this country like that because America did have, I think they allowed Jamaicans in for agriculture. And after the assignment was done, they had to go. And y'all really need to be thanking Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Y'all really shouldn't be disrespecting that man at all. And some of y'all are trying to be disrespectful, like, y'all just wanted to be under the white tea people. That's all y'all was fighting for, to be under the white tea people. Well, he got your ass in this bitch, right? And y'all feel so emboldened to say this is a land of immigrants. They wasn't talking about y'all. And the African in New York over there talking about her race of people built this country. Bitch, I'm about to make you your own African race because I want you out of the black race box, even though race is a made up social construct. But at this point, they gotta have something of their own to leave us alone. Still writing in their country of origin is pissing me off. They know they not black. And we still have to go over how the Latinos identify in those islands, because some of them be trying to say they black too, showing up in New York reparations, um, and some more Caribbean islands. And we're gonna go deeper than just do they identify as black or not, right? We want the exact classification, and it's going to compare. And I think I told y'all this already. If they have the social construct that we have here, because we got to be well informed, to where they can't wiggle their way out of out of the chokehold we put them in, not figuratively, not literally, YouTube, but you know, yeah. I like to just have it where they can't say nothing. Like, and they don't even be going to Google and whatnot. But yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. So, fair use, right? Because I could sit up here and go all day about that one topic, and I don't want to do that today. So, for those still entering the room, if you come tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Arthur Watkins Jr. of American Freedmen Legal Fund will be here, and we will be discussing the importance of preserving our ancestral burial ground. I did tell you about the data centers and how they're trying to build on top of ancestral land. I told you about the first Black church that had the gravesite here in the Bronx, and there's an Asian market on top of it. Some organizations were trying to get like a historical landmark. It's on a busy part of the Bronx. And so we do want people to understand the history of the Bronx, because I also found a Latino like newsletter, and I've been following it. They're bigging up Fat Joe. Okay. They telling that they call the Bronx the forgotten borough. That is not our motherfucking name. What are they talking about? Excuse my language. That is Staten Island. Sorry, Staten Islanders. Um, and they started the history of the Bronx when it had when they separated it from Westchester County, but that's not how that got, right? Because there still was an enslaved population here who built it, no matter if it was called Westchester County, the Bronx, because there's some Dutch. I don't know if that's a good Dutch accent. But they started the history of the Bronx from 1898 and had somebody relaying a story of when people started migrating there. And then it's like, and then the black people came. And then they called us African Americans. And I'm like, what? I don't like that. So it's all about erasure. And I'm noticing they doing that a lot. Yeah, wow. They doing that a lot, starting the history of the time either when Puerto Rico was acquired, and I mean before the 1899 date of when they started allowing the elite Puerto Ricans to come to the States, namely New York. So, because all of them weren't allowed to come here at a certain point in time. Okay. So I don't want to get lost in the source. Um, I see your comments. Hi, love of truth. Good morning. Yes, very entitled. Um, and Shani says, I know you are trying not to curse BX, but I love the fire you bring. Thank you.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers? Just when the American people think nothing can be more absurd than the way we deal, or rather don't deal, with illegal immigration, they discover that we have a political asylum system that would qualify us for Senator Proxmire's Golden Fleece Award 1,000 times over. I don't know why he didn't make this award. He should have.
Yeah. If y'all didn't see the caption there, it was saying what happened to those Democrats, basically, the kind who wanted to enforce or reform birthright citizenship. And so we need those Democrats back because I don't know. I think the other ones done lost their minds. Fair
Here in
use.
Indiana, been without power for 12 days. Me and my family are blessed enough to be here. And there's over thousands of people that came out. We got food trucks, we got supplies. We here as a community, we here as a family. George, God bless you, man. Thank you. Absolutely. You want me to throw it in the trunk?
Who's my man? Roy's Royal Lemonade.
Back seat, I'm all right. You okay?
I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. God bless y'all, man.
All right, we just left. It was over 4,000. It could be anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 people that showed up on 2 days' notice. I'm speechless. I'm at a loss of words. I'm not gonna lie. Currently en route to a senior citizen complex that's been without power. We about to go take some food, take some meals for the people who couldn't be able to come out and stand in line or drive in line.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Thinking about us, not forgetting about us.
We won't. You guys are not forgotten.
Thank you, young man. It's still very important.
Shout out to the South Asian Army. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out to every single person that contributed anyway. Shout out to every single person who was making videos about spreading the knowledge that this is happening right now. Because I think it's crazy that it wasn't national news. And the fact that we played any part in that, I'm honored.
This city is 90% us. And we will never be forgotten about. And as long as I got lungs and I got air in them, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure any community that look like mine will not be underreserved and underprivileged. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. God bless y'all, man.
Shout out to Keith Lee and those who assisted and donated, gave food, haircuts, as you can see. I think they even had a shower portal, like a porta potty, but it's not a porta potty. It's like a shower stall. However, I did see some videos on TikTok and I did not upload them. They said people gave Keith Lee backlash for bringing mops. I think he gave out rakes, buckets, but you saw him pass out food, right? You saw him pass out food and stuff. Feeling that that wasn't good enough. And so the only one I saw that he kind of not confronted, but kind of, just gave his side of it and how he couldn't do everything or couldn't contact her in a certain way that she felt he should have. But the two that respond, it was three response videos, and I probably upload it later and show it not during Arthur's live because we're going to focus on the ancestors and we're going to talk about Gary, but I kind of want to keep it lighthearted. I only think it was that one lady and people ran with that. And now they're like, people are complaining and I wouldn't do nothing for black people. I mean, oh my God, you know, and that's what black people do. And this, that, and the third. I think for the most part, everybody that I saw besides that young lady was grateful. They was happy. You see, he even went to the people that couldn't make it to the main event, right? The big event. So I'ma just say this. Just thank God that he was there to assist them in their time of need. If you think, and I ain't even gonna go there. I'm gonna just say that. Thank God he was there to assist them, and I pray to God that none of us have to go through anything like that again in America. Like, but we're Black Americans, and I know I don't like when anybody says this, but it has to be said. Um, they do at times drag their feet when it comes to us. We see what they did with Katrina. I think the floods in North Carolina were primarily white people. Um, and so, yeah, right? But at least we take care of our own. Keith Lee could have been anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Also, I saw a video of y'all complaining about the way he treats his wife. What is wrong with y'all? Now, I don't know if it was one person, 2 people, or 15 people. I don't know how many it was, but leave that man and his wife alone. Let them do the Lord's work, the work that we ain't doing. Not saying we don't do no work, but he's in a position to really, really help people. And I just thank God that he ain't get frustrated and throw the towel in on those who need the help. That's all. That's all. And so while we're talking about Gary, Indiana, and showing off Keith Lee and the event that he had, please don't forget that Afro Lee did have a live addressing this, and Mr. Cosmo joined. He said, do not just give your money all willy nilly to a GoFundMe and you don't even know if those people are impacted. That the mayor is a trusted source where you can ask him where to send the money, or there's a charging station at the Gary Public Library on 220 West Fifth Avenue where you could go there to have your stuff charged. And outside of Gary, Indiana, if you don't feel comfortable because you don't trust the government, the library, the same library where they can go charge their phones and stuff like that, call them and see what they recommend. But I know somebody who said they donated to 4 GoFundMe's. He doesn't know them. He just was being good, kind hearted, and he's foundational Black American. So there are a couple of GoFundMe's out up. Please, if y'all are gonna donate to a GoFundMe, uh, do your investigation. That's all I can say. That's it. I wanted to say that, y'all. We'll get on with the program. And Love Chu says, I love us. I love us too. And Angelique says, I shared the live on the Bird app, sister. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I think we gotta get out of Keith Lee's personal life, um, and let him do the Lord's work. Cause I can't do what Keith Lee is doing at this point in time. And the big deal was that he thanked God, then he thanked his wife, and then whatever else he said. And some people had an issue with that, and that is just crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But what do I know? What do I know? Sometimes we want drama where there's no need to be drama. And so we're going to move on so I don't ramble about somebody else's relationship, y'all. Just respect that man's relationship. That's all. Fair use.
Yeah, I collect black memorabilia. I have all my life.
Word on the street is that there is a little racist minstrel doll being sold in the West Seattle Antique Mall over there. Now let's go check it out. Oh, it's right here. Perfect. Okay. I think it used to be a puppet.
Yeah, I collect black memorabilia. I have all my life. I never wanted white dolls when I was a little kid because all the white dolls had blue eyes and I had brown eyes.
Is this one of your old ones?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, we can't keep it in the store. We have so many people that collect black memorabilia.
Really?
Yeah.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see your collection one day.
Oh, my collection is amazing. I even have slave certificates.
Slave certificates?
I do, yeah.
You have those? What?
My folks, we used to go out and eat at the Coon Chicken Inn. The door was the mouth of the black person.
The black person, yeah.
And I used to always love to go there because it was so magical.
Wow. At the Coon Chicken Inn? That was magical?
There was a lot of jive and a lot of singing going on in there.
Oh, what are we going to do with this, Seattle? What should I do with this fucking thing?
I think that should go in a museum. I don't think white people should be making any more money off of it. But it's a part of history that has to be shown, right? She said they have slave certificates. Now, how many heard me talk about the antebellums? Usually, women, primarily from, in my anecdotal experience, Alabama, who will get up and go to grave sites and stuff and help us find our ancestors, names of our ancestors, burial sites, and we'll even go to the courthouse to pull records for us, right? And I also say white people keep souvenirs. And so they have all types of things, and they're addicts, slave certificates. But that's how I found out about alligator bait, y'all. I didn't physically go into no store. It was online, but it was a man who had a postcard of an alligator and a baby inside the alligator's mouth. Yeah. So to answer on where's the athletes, the movie actors, these same Black American people, FBA spend their money supporting them when we go to these stadiums to watch them, right? I don't know. Keith Lee is the only one I heard about, but as soon as I find out who's doing something, I will let y'all know. But so far, I don't have no names, y'all. I don't. I be asking Afro for you got an update on Gary? He said things are still the same, BX. Angelique says, I want to know where is FEMA, the government we pay taxes to. Didn't they bankrupt FEMA? Remember? And it could have been New York. They were using FEMA funds for the immigrants. So I don't even know if FEMA is still in existence, to be honest. And I'm going to double check that information, but I do recall that. And yeah, that's horrible. And that wasn't from when Trump was in office. But I bet you, if I'm correct, nobody gonna talk about that. And that's why everybody probably been silent. So that nobody brings up what happened with FEMA. But I'm gonna double check it as another video play. Okay, wait, I gotta find my spot, y'all. I be losing my spot. Okay. Fair use. I believe this is Tethers of TikTok, so I have time to look and see what happened with FEMA. Fair use.
Now watching the Cosplay Hour, Part 8, presented by Tethers of TikTok.
Why do Caribbeans and Africans believe they can be activists in our country when they've abandoned their families back home?
Abolish ICE is the centrist position. Affordable housing is the centrist position. Anti-Zionism is the centrist position. Anti-interventionism, anti-war is the centrist position. And because I don't give a fuck about politicians and I only give a fuck about policy, if you aren't running on those things, if you're not running on expanding the court, if you're not running on actually fundamentally changing the conditions and the infrastructure of this country to make it better for working class people, I don't give a fuck about what you have to say.
Notice how she's speaking for and against the grassroots, while her country is in a perpetual state of poverty.
Today is the day I make you guys laugh and have fun, but I'm not happy today. I'm not a happy one today at all. Let me tell you why I'm not happy today. When I go to Jamaica ATMs, I have anxiety. I went to Negro today and Scotiabanks. None of the ATMs are working. And this is my third time going there this month. I think it's so sad that Jamaicans have to stop in the sun and work, and they stop in the sun to cut their money. And if foreigners come here and they can't get money to go support local business. It needs to stop. It needs to fix. Whatever the problem is, it needs to fix. Come on now. We have a lot of people investing in Jamaica. We have money coming in Jamaica. The least you could have is money in the ATM because it's a cash country. That's one. Two, I come to the beach 3 times a week. And I'm at the beach today. And every time I come, there's local Jamaican people that sell fruits on the beach, that sell beads. I used to take my guests to them, and they sell Guinea coconut, that they walk in the hot sun. And they sell these things. They have hot on their head because they can't even breathe. The sun's so hot. They're not stealing from nobody. They're not robbing nobody. They're not selling their ass. They're selling coconuts, mangoes, and guineas. And today I was talking to 2 of them trying to buy some stuff, and they start running. I said, where you guys running to? They're going to get arrested. To find out the police was coming. And it's illegal for them to sell fruits and beads on the beach to people. This is how they made an honest living, take care of their family. And it's illegal. Come on, Jamaican government. Come on. I never get into politics or government, but come on. Come on now. These are the poor people of Jamaica. That's one. Two, growing up as a little girl, it's selling market. I used to see in Montego Bay Market, they'll take the people groceries and stuff they're selling and shut in the garbage truck. Break up the carts, arrest them. Stuff they work hard to sell. I come back in 2024, 25, 26, it's still happening. And this was happening from 1986. So there's no changes being done for the poor folks of Jamaica. And I never get involved in the politics and stuff. But come on, we need some changes for the poor people of Jamaica. For our skin, we need some changes here.
I should not be forced to be in the same party as people who literally think it is okay that because they are exceptional and American that they deserve more comfort than everybody else. I cannot be in the same party with people who are willing to stand on the blood and the bones of indigenous people all across the global South in order to have their precious resources and their amenities in their precious American country. I cannot be in the same party as y'all.
Think about everything that's happening with ICE right now. ICE agents, they're getting these $50,000 bonuses to sign up in a time where people were financially struggling. In order for them to get access to that, you have to put your humanity away in order to carry out that job. I would like you to see that there is like a correlation between what you're talking about and the dehumanization of like being a police officer and carrying out that job every day and the dehumanization of being an oppressed person who is on the other end of that. Because regardless of what, nobody in the situation is being treated like they're fully human.
Your politics and our politics will never align. We're situated in every sector of America, and you can run around being a Timu Black Panther because our ancestors unalived to make that possible. It's dehumanizing to undermine the black working class with foreign competition who will gladly work for pennies.
When they got ready to clear this lane after done that in the wintertime, when they couldn't do nothing else, everybody would go to the woods and clear. Me and my family both cleared Trey Lake. There was 10 of us in the family. On 1908, 15th day of October. Started off working 50 cents a day. But one of the best mule plows in this country, they had me plowing the widow's crops. And I'm still on W.A. Price's farm, Trey Lake, Mississippi. Got about 74 years in here. I've seen a many man come and go. Went to weigh in cotton, used to weigh 45 bales a day. Pay off every sack. That was a pretty big job.
Abolish ICE is the centrist position.
We don't want any tether speaking on our behalf because of skin color. You have no skin in the game, and you ran from your homeland. I don't care if you were born here. You became an adult and chose not to return. And then you sided with the most racist party in our country. Save the buzzwords, do this shit at home, and then we can be allies.
I should not be forced to be in the same party as people who literally think it is okay that because they are exceptional and American that they deserve more comfort than everybody
else. I cannot be in the same party with people who are willing to stand on the blood and the bones of indigenous people all across the global south in order to have their precious resources and their amenities in their precious American country. I cannot be in the same party as y'all.
Fair use. Now, she over here talking about she can't be in the same party with us. You saw that other Jamaican lady and the things that she was talking about. But listen to this lady. She appears to be an elder, a Jamaican elder. Fair use.
Okay, guys, breaking news. Trying to get myself together. But there is a protest happening right now in Jamaica. The Jamaican people say they don't want no deportees from America. Yes, so they're very upset. There's a protest going on in the streets. If you go to my story, you will see it. If you go to my repost, you will see it. I repost it. But it's happening right now in Jamaica. The Jamaican people said they don't want no deportees. And they're not Jamaican national. So the agreement between the US and Jamaica, the people not having it. So go to my story, you'll see this, you can watch it. The guy is Marvin Little, I think his name is. But that's the breaking news. In Jamaica, Jamaican people out in the street, they're not happy what's going on. With the US and Jamaica's agreement to bring deportees, they said they don't want deportees there. Or translation, they said they don't want deportees there. Okay, another translation, they said in Jamaica, keep your people, we don't want them. That means keep everybody, we don't want them. That's the breaking news.
Tough. Now they know how we feel. Because, it's like all these other countries are saying they don't want them. They don't want them from America. They don't want them. They don't want them. But the immigrants are really dumped into our communities. We don't have a say. I don't remember being polled, asked anything. They get businesses erected and all type of things. We get displaced. And now they running around because they displaced the Jamaicans and other Caribbean who be trying to follow Jamaicans, I guess. Because they displaced our people out there in Brooklyn, they're talking about nobody in Brooklyn is foundational Black Americans. They trying to make it seem like they outnumber us. They actually don't. We were just displaced, right? So we got pushed to Brownsville, East New York. They have Flatbush and Crown Heights. They have those areas. I want to say Canarsie too. I had looked into it before. And I used to live on Flatbush. But when you living amongst certain conditions and you're not aware of the systemic things, right? And you believe that all melanated people deserve an opportunity here in this land, right? Even if you got problems with them, because it's just like a community issue. It was a community issue to me. So if I fought a Jamaican, I wasn't thinking she had deep rooted hatred or disdain for all my people, or that she was in some kind of competition, like with her people against mine. That mindset that's in the government that they deny us stuff. And the Jamaican lady who said, well, kill all Black Americans, don't shoot me, officer, shoot a Black American. I'm not thinking that way. Then you kind of feel like, okay, this is normal. They're here, get a way of life and make some money and stuff like that. But this is the worst that I've seen it. And I don't think it's just because I'm aware now of the systemic harms. It's because I'm going through the systemic harms. Do you know? Okay, so I'm an independent author, journalist, and I do some other things, editing and stuff, to make my money and stuff. I say thank God I have my children because when I don't sell my books and stuff, my son buys me a meat plan. He's greedy too, so he got to have the meat. But he's still a young man. He deserved to have his money go do what he wanted to do. Mom was supposed to be taking care of him. But I've been looking for a job since I was in college. A lot of the positions that I was going for were bilingual required. When Biden and Harris were in office, and I don't want to use like, I want to say I couldn't breathe. I really want to say that. It was so stressful. And then they told me I owed taxes, but I couldn't get food stamps. But I know there wasn't no food in my freezer. It was just a really weird time. And I got to tell you, I breathe a little bit better now financially. I don't like the way the Bronx and stuff is looking, but when you living and you could see and it's starting to really affect us. I don't know if it really affected us like this before because it's not just me, it's not just my age group, it's our younger generation too. So I have well, I don't have, but I'm a part of a spiritual group and it's all ages in there. And one day we were talking and she was like, there's just no jobs here. And I haven't seen her in a while, so I'm hoping she got a job, y'all. I am. Because I don't know anything past that. So it's just a really weird place to be. And they don't want our deportees, but do you know your people are over here running them up? Talking about Jamaica's rising. And I saw a video where they was like, yeah, we gonna run the parkway. We run the parkway every September. And we gonna do this and we gonna do like life is grand for these motherfuckers over here. But every time I turn around, they're appropriating something. They saying they created something. They infusing soul food in their restaurants, trying to tell us we can't play our music and stuff. That they are the only ones in Brooklyn. Foundational Black Americans aren't there, and I'm like, yes, we are. So I think that the things that they're doing they're delusional to think that they outnumber us. But the way that they make it seem to everybody else out there who don't really know uh, New York FBA, who actively research, make it seem like we not here, and that's just not the case. We are systematically locked out of a lot of things. So there was a point in time where I was like, when we gonna start knocking these bitches on their back? But we do have a lot to lose because we're fighting for reparations and we don't want them getting H-1 visas. But the antics can't take them. So I don't care that they don't want our deportees. Some of their people will be going back there as well. So remember I said about the Mexican Repatriation Act? Not it wasn't an act, but during the 1929s through the 1930s, Mexicans, even Mexican Americans with two immigrant parents, but born here, were deported. And the range is from 400K to 2 million. There's nothing on the books to say it can't happen to them again. So I did some digging, and I believe I told y'all 5,000 Jamaicans will be denaturalized and deported. 12,000 Dominicans are being denaturalized and deported. I seen a video, I didn't upload it, but I'm sure I will within the upcoming week. It was a man saying how Hochu and them are locking out ICE from going into the prisons to get about 40,000 prisoners, meaning they were tried and convicted and should be deported. So it's like some things I say come true, but just a little variation of it. So her saying, or them saying they ain't going nowhere, because one lady was fighting us on a comment post on TikTok. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. And I was like, okay, 5,000 Jamaicans are leaving. And in New York, it's about 1,200 of them motherfuckers that are slated or told that they have to deport. We got to get that number up, y'all. So I can't just knock them on the back and give them a U-1 visa. But they really disrespectful. It is annoying. But I just hope they got something special planned for New York. But the Democrats in New York are telling ICE or preventing ICE from going in to get people who were convicted. That is an immigration law. If you commit a certain crime, that is a deportable offense. And if it's really heinous and you are a U.S. citizen naturalized, you can be denaturalized. Why aren't they cooperating with that? With that, it's a lot, you know? But we're going to get into another video, y'all. Fair use.
I heard about these white folks taking classes to know how to walk through our neighborhood. Think I'm bullshit. And look, I know how to speak. I'm educated, so I know how to talk. So I'm standing right here in this same spot 5-6 years ago, 2017 to 18, and you got maybe 17 to 20 white people. And people that know this in this area, they're going to be able to vouch. White people walking from right here, walking past us, hitting this corner on King Drive, going towards Eberhard, and things like that. I stopped a little female, asked her what was going on, and they was telling her exactly this. They're in college. They're going to be living over here. They're going to be going in dorms and living in dorms. They got to use these stores and these neighborhoods they train. So they're taking classes on how to be in a black neighborhood. They're taking classes of being in the urban neighborhood, in the urban communities. So they won't be clutching their purse when they see a nigga. Or grabbing their phone thinking you're going to snatch it. So they hide and walk in here through here by the groups and get comfortable walking through here knowing they route. You know what I'm saying? So when they by themselves, they'll be comfortable jumping off this train. We ain't used to white people get on or off that train.
That's crazy. A lot of people take a lot of classes about us to study us, or it's not that serious. But if they stop letting all the immigrants in who are melanated like us, I think they wouldn't have to go through all of that. I gotta be honest. I think for the most part, we don't play with white people, right? But we also don't antagonize them to a certain extent. We go and roast them. We are going to roast them. But I mean, as far as purposely harming them or signaling them out, because that's the way it sounded to me. They trying to take survival lessons for the hood. But if you stop letting in these other people, like these other people are so entitled, they're like, well, if we gotta go, Trump family gotta go. Those type of people are probably who's bothering the white people that they can't live in peace where they want to live. But I don't want them living around us either. I have a poor white family that live around here. You know, I don't do too much talking. I barely say hi. Because, no, you can't say the N word. I don't even want you to feel comfortable with me. You know, just be cordial. That's it. And my mama taught me to be cordial because she said you never know who's going to save your life. You got to come home late. And this is when my children were younger. I really wouldn't speak to people I didn't know. He's like, you never know if they might save your life. You're supposed to say hi. Baby, you got to say at least hi. I said, okay, mom. But I tell you, because I just don't believe in shit where you sleep. And then when you start getting to know everybody where you live and stuff, they want to know what your house look like and all this other stuff. And then I don't live in a prestigious high income place, right? But do you know that some people will get mad that you have a job, that you got something new, that you look better, you want to do better for yourself? Like, it's just weird. It's just weird. I'm the type that'll compliment a woman in her shoes. I'm moody as fuck, right? Yeah, I'm very moody. However, I know how to give a compliment. I know how to say not today. I don't get people, but that's anyway, fair use. Let's move it along. But yeah, so we are gonna get into Chicago, not in depth. I just want to show you who else is running because I know Miss Danny is running for office, and there's another lady, I believe her name is Christina. I love both those ladies, right? They saw a need in Chicago, they decided to fill it. But there's a Mexican who's running for office. So check this out. Fair use.
Two things can be true at once. We can stand up for our hardworking immigrants, protect the woman selling her tamales who hasn't hurt a fly, and not protect, criminals like the individual who killed Sheridan Gorman. We should never be okay with protecting that guy. I'm not, but I'll protect that tamale vendor tooth and nail because she was a good mom who took care of her kids, and that's what we should want everybody to do in our city.
I don't know. I need a Chicagoan. How do you feel about that? I don't trust her. I think we've had enough of immigrants. It's Black Americans' time to shine right now. Tag us in because you're not getting in the seat anyway. And let's see. I bet you we'll clean it up. We'll clean it up. But we're gonna look at what's that mayor, y'all? Did she say mayor? Yeah, mayoral. And so here's Miss Danny. Let's listen to Miss Danny. Fair use.
Hello, my name is Danielle Carter Walters, and I'm running for Mayor 2027. I just wanted to come on here and share some personal information with you all. As a child, I struggled with a speech impediment. I had problems pronouncing words, and I would stutter a lot. And I was always self-conscious about that. That's why I can't believe God has put me on this journey. Public speaking, speaking out loud, reading in front of people, as a young child was always my biggest fear. And I went to CPS school. Being a CPS student, I didn't get the help that I needed, which was speech therapy. So I had to actually learn how to overcome this issue I had on my own. That's why I'm so passionate about our educational system and that our kids will get the help that they need to overcome these things. If they're having problems with speaking, pronouncing words, then we can get them that help. IEP, we can get them that help. And even if they just needed to talk to someone, we can have those resources for them. We are paying $30,000 to $33,000 per kid. So it's not like we don't have the funds. We just have to make sure those funds are going towards our children. And that's where my passion comes from, because I understood what I've been through as a child and what the challenges I had to overcome and still trying to overcome. So although you may see me stutter sometimes, mispronounce a word, one thing I want you all to know and understand, everything I'm fighting for, everything I'm speaking and talking to you about is coming from my heart because of the love I have for the people of Chicago and this beautiful place, my hometown. I look forward to reforming CPS to make sure our children have everything they need. Please go to my website, look at my platform, and look at some of the ways I plan on dealing with our education crisis. I, Danielle Carter Walters, will continue to fight for Chicagoans to benefit from a safer, affordable, great schools for our kids, so that everyone may experience a great quality of life. We deserve that, Chicagoans. Please vote for me, Danielle Carter Walters, for Mayor 2027. Love you all.
Yeah, and in another video, she also talks about ending sanctuary cities within 30 days. And here is, I believe her name is Miss Christine, but I think she's running for governor. Let's hear her now. Fair use.
If you've ever wondered how politicians truly feel about Black Americans in Chicago, just examine the way they've handled the ICE situation and people being in detention centers versus how they've handled people being in Cook County Jail and suffering different situations at the hand of other inmates and things of that nature. So what we've seen is that we've seen politicians like my opponent, Jonathan Jackson, go out. He's traveled from DC to ICE detention centers here to advocate for illegal aliens, people who are not permanent citizens here, not even on green cards, people who should not be here. He's gone to check on their well-being with his colleagues to advocate for non-citizens. Why is this disturbing to me? This is disturbing because I know for a fact that there are more than likely Black men incarcerated right now in Cook County, who are either being sexually assaulted, being brutalized for gang-related reasons, or what have you. There are people who are being treated abhorrently inside of Cook County. And you know where you don't see Jonathan? You do not see him advocating for those men who are actually born citizens here in Chicago. But they're in Cook County. See, they don't fit the agenda. Because see, those men who currently may be there because they have a felony, when you in most states you can, some states you can vote even if you have a felony, but see, they don't fit the agenda because that's a body of voters that the Democratic Party has divested from. They have divested from the Black American voter. They are now very much so interested in the immigrant illegal alien voter. And these people are most definitely going to be voting because in Illinois, you are automatically registered to vote when you get a driver's license. You have to tell them that you are not a citizen and that you should not be registered. So if you do not declare that upon getting your driver's license, you cannot tell me that we don't have thousands of people who are registered to vote right now who are not citizens. I hate that people all over the city and this state are being duped by people like Jonathan Jackson, Delia Ramirez, who else is part of this cabal? There's so many of these Congress people. Chewy, whatever his name is, he's horrible. And they go and they use the power of the office you elected them to advocate for everybody but you. But it's time for you to choose you. I would never choose an illegal alien over a citizen, over an American citizen. I'm never prioritizing illegal aliens over American citizens. You couldn't make me do it. Because that is not what that office is supposed to be for. It is supposed to be for American citizens. It's supposed to be for Illinoisans. And that would be my only concern. The best thing I can do for somebody who is here illegally and undocumented is get you the best path out of this country so you can re-enter the right way. Because what I have to do as a person who would be in Congress is protect American jobs for Americans, American housing for Americans, American classrooms for American children, American university spots for Americans, American welfare for Americans. I have to protect all of those things, American hospital beds for Americans, all of it. All of it is for Americans and our normal rate of procreation. That is how this system is set up. It is not for me as a person who will be in Congress to decide that I'm going to give away American resources to non-Americans. And I wouldn't do it. My name is Christian Maxwell, and if you are sick and tired of these non-American first politicians like Jonathan Jackson, you need to check the box next to my name on November 3rd. My name is Christian Maxwell, and I would never vote against you and your family's best interest. I will always vote to support you first over people who are not citizens of this nation.
Walaikum assalam, Ali. So let me see. Thank you, Angelique. No, hey, Noah. Noah says, preach. Lover of truth says, let's go. Yep. Only is clapping it up. Yes. And so we're going to move along. That is, I'm happy that uh, they are running for mayor and governor. So it's like no competition between them, right? I love to see it. We just got to keep that other lady out, the Tamale lady, because how dare she? But she going to protect. Oh yeah, Only said it. Well, where's the protections for FBA women? She want to protect the Tamale lady. Now I'm not saying the Tamale lady doesn't need protection, but she could have entered foundational Black Americans in there. There was an incident, a school age child, and the mother had to the where the mother was jumped, right? She could have talked about dumping the immigrants into foundational Black American communities. So when ICE comes, right? Remember they had this building and they had, I don't know if it was Venezuelans or just, other immigrants with Venezuelans, and they had to do a raid on the building and they were saying Black Americans were being detained. So I think politicians really need to rethink putting these people in our communities, or well, rather, we have to demand they don't put them in our communities. At this point, put them in the trailer parks. A lot of them want to be close to white tea people anyway. So put them in the trailer parks, if you ask me. Thank you for the super chat. Wait, I see it says 3, but those are probably comments that I saw it. But we do have super chats, y'all. I'm monetized now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check the bio for all calls to actions. My urban fiction work. Thank you to the person or people who bought 11 units recently. I appreciate you. There's also Black Sci-Fi audio books, other appearances where I have been. No, follow my link tree. My link tree has the other appearances and then monetary ways to support the platform. If you don't want to send a super chat, it's through PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. But moving along, we're going to go to fair use.
And now, in an effort to stop all of this once and for all, the State Department has launched a brand new birth tourism prevention task force. They just revoked more than 600 visas in the first month. Let's bring in State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott. Tommy, we are thrilled to hear about this task force, and 600 visas revoked in a month is quite a lot. What are some examples that you're finding?
Well, I can actually say off the top that in just the few days since we announced this task force, that number is actually up to over 750 visas revoked. An additional 150 just in the last few days. That's new information here we're able to say. Some examples we're looking at are networks, but also people that are coming on visas that are not for the purpose of giving birth, which is fraud, but instead they're tourism visas, they're business visas, they're other visas. We have examples of people coming to the United States claiming they're going to go on vacation for a week, staying up to 5 months, and then being coached on how to defraud the American people and not pay their medical bills. We see examples of advertisements globally of people promising automatic citizenship, of promising a world without borders to people if they pay, get those services to lie to visa officers, come to the United States, and then there's people often based in the United States that help these individuals further defraud the United States. So we're putting a stop to this. We're putting a stop to this fraud. We're taking action. We're leveraging the full resources of this administration and this government to put an end to this abuse.
Salute, Gerald. Top of the morning. Ali, the XP button. If you press it, it'll show you rankings of my followers, my supporters in the chat, how they comment, if they send super chats, stuff like that. I think the XP points are to let me know who's supporting me and what capacity. I also think it's for you guys too. And I got to really research the rest, but I would figure it will help with the algorithm and stuff, the more engagement I have. So, but yeah, you can see where you rank on the, I guess you call it a leaderboard, y'all. And so we're going to get into this, right? So I'm happy that they are revoking visas, restricting visas, and all that good stuff. I honestly want to push for a moratorium. I'm hoping that Trump says that next. I know he's doing what he could with the executive orders and trying to work around birthright citizenship where it's basically non existent. But in the meantime, we need some permanent measures, right? So that the next administration cannot undo it. Because this here was crazy. But this is the HUD director. And let's hear what he has to say. I have two videos by him back to back, and then we'll get into some more immigration news. Fair use.
As we've been traveling, we've been asking localities, mayors, hey, take inventory of your regulatory environment. What's crippling people so they cannot build? Why is development not happening? Why is construction so high? And so as we do that, we also are tearing down green energy mandates. Clay, the median price of a home in America today is over $400,000. $100,000 of that is in regulations alone.
That's crazy.
And so when you take down the regulatory environment, you bring down the cost to build, which is passed on to the 20, 30, 40-year-olds to say, hey, it's the price to build is lower, so that means the price to buy is lower and the supply goes up. And that's what we've been working under President Trump, to bring that environment down.
What y'all think, y'all? I like what he be saying, as long as it's like bring the price down, make sure it goes to Americans, things like that. I'm gonna say thank you to Shani. It was Shani that sent two more I think that's super chats. Thank you. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning this platform. I like it. But I like when they talk about actually it's like correcting a wrong, right? There have been people who waited for first of all, with Section 8, they never told, well, I never got the memo, and quite a few people didn't get the memo, that with Section 8, you could have been renting to own your own home. Now, what they did tell me was if I stayed in New York for a year, if I got Section 8, then I would be able to move out of state with Section 8. But there was some benefits and perks that just weren't discussed with us. But I do know that the small hats, and then it's like everybody flooded the applications. They put a freeze on it. But in the meantime, you got mixed immigrant households, meaning the babies get the Section 8, the parents aren't Americans. And then I know people who really needed Section 8 who, could have transitioned before Section 8. Well, they even got called for an interview. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's not only my anecdotal, because when it came out, all the mixed immigrant households and who was abusing the system and stuff, and everybody started talking how they were on waiting lists for so many years, this, that, and the third. But New York is very slick, right? Even before Biden and Harris and stuff, can't put this on them. There was a freeze on Section 8. So I had an auntie who was a social worker for a hospital in New York. And so she found out that the small hats, they were opening up Section 8 to them, and that they had to go to a certain office on a certain day. And she said she took her ass down there to get one for my grandmother, because my grandmother had just had a heart attack and stuff. Now, my grandmother, I tell y'all about my grandmother, how she was about appearances and stuff. And if she would see me with a scarf on, you got to look your best, even when going to the store. She was one of those grannies, right? My grandmother didn't want no damn Section 8. She was a hardworking woman in the nursing field. And so she do her doubles and stuff like that. Always dressed nice. But my aunt went down there because she was tired. My grandmother would argue with her landlord like, "I don't owe you that money. I ain't paying you that money." So my aunt used to go over there and handle her affairs. So my aunt went to go get Section 8 for her. And when she gave my grandmother the application, my grandmother was like, "I ain't getting on no Section 8." And I think it was Section 8 for senior citizens buildings. And my grandmother was like, "I'm not old. You old. You take that apart." But anyway, my aunt went down there. She said the way they looked at her, because once she went in there, they couldn't deny her. But they didn't give no memo out to the regular public. It was just for the small hats, y'all. It was just for the small hats. So New York do be playing that dumbass game. Thank you. Thank you, Love of Truth. Thank you for the super chat. So it's just the shit they do to us. But here's another one. By the director of HUD Fair Use.
Secretary, great to see you. So first of all, you're rolling this out. Talk to me about the loophole.
Well, great to be with you here. So this is a new proposed rule from HUD when you talk about the mixed status loophole. During the Biden administration, tens of millions of illegal aliens came across our borders unchecked, unvetted, and because of that, it put a great strain on our housing market, made the costs go up. American taxpayer dollars are meant to be for American people only. We prioritize under President Trump American people. And so when you have illegals that are living inside of HUD-funded housing, they're taking homes from the American people that actually need them and that are here legally. And so what we did, we put out this new proposed rule to close this loophole down, said, listen, you have to show verification that you are an American citizen if you want to live in HUD-funded housing. The mixed status came because others came and said, well, we have one, quote unquote, legal person living in the home, so others will come, cousins, relatives, friends, and associates.
But not legally.
But not legally, and said, hey, I do not contend my immigration status. And so that's how you get the mixed status loophole. And so we closed that because American money goes to American people and American people only.
Got it. We have a...
Yeah, I like that. American people only. Yes. Mm-hmm. And some of those Americans have to be checked. They have to be checked. They got fake degrees. You know they got fake IDs, right? Everything got to be double checked. Fuck that. Fair use.
Officials in Tennessee from the Department of Children's Services, you're going to want to share this, found a loophole where they're taking undocumented kids, putting them under state custody in the state system, which in turn gets them budgeted and paid for all of these services by Americans, citizens of Tennessee. What they're doing is they're helping these kids get an abandonment through juvenile court, which gives them a special circumstance juvenile immigration status. Once they get this abandonment status, they're allowed to bring over their families who are undocumented from other countries. This is a loophole that they found and they are exploiting. We're finding out that it's in Tennessee, but I'm sure it's happening nationwide. They're continuing to do whatever they can to get them from their countries here and then have you and I pay for them. This is not okay. Let's get the word out. Let's let them know that we know what they're doing.
That is crazy. But remember, they lost some kids or something, and now they said now they're coming out with the whole. I read an article, right? And the governor of New York was saying that children were representing themselves in court and they needed representation. And the kids they showed us had to be about 6, if that. They weren't toddlers now, but they weren't 10-year-olds either. So these people are what? Just leaving their kids here? I'm going to say allegedly, and what I think is just an opinion, a belief, is that somebody from our government has to be helping them leave the babies. That's crazy. I can tell you one thing though. If you had any doubt that America was a good country, let the immigrants and how they're willing to use that loophole, willing to just drop their kids off, let that be the deciding factor that America is better than a lot of those other places out there. So while we turning up our nose at the flag, and I'm just speaking generally, I know we in here rocking with the flag in America and stuff, right? But while, because I used to, Pan African 101 and the RBG flag was just it, and you kind of overlooked that one of us helped to sew the flag and design it and stuff. But we could be anywhere in the world trying to flee over here. I don't know about willing to leave my kids, behind. I mean, sometimes you gotta, fuss and scream and stuff, but I wouldn't change my children for the world. But those are the things that these folks are doing. And it could be the perks too. And we're not immigrants, so we're not getting the perks that they're getting. That's why all perks should go. The TPS and whatever else. Just put a moratorium on immigration for 100 years. 100 years. Until they get some outright about themselves. Dude, they need some act right, y'all. And so there's another video by him that I'm going to play. Fair use.
Muslims in Texas have responded to Abbott's no Sharia law here in Texas, saying that's all propaganda. They're saying the no burqa, some states or one state has passed and women are no longer allowed to wear burqas. They're saying that's all propaganda. And then they came at us and said Epic City is moving forward. I guess they want that smoke. So here we go. We need to call every congressman, every representative here in Texas, and we need to tell them that they're saying that they're moving forward, that the investigation that was placed on them was not enough. They're still trying to push forward. Why? Because we know we have some representatives here in Texas. Yeah, they'll help them push it forward, just like they were helping. So we have to stay vigilant, and we have to keep making noise. We can't allow this to continue forward. Interesting. All this right after what happened on that baseball field with 3 Muslim men recreationally shooting. Yeah, we're not going to allow this to happen.
I don't know. It's just like everything is changing, and it's just like I don't discriminate against anybody's religion, right? You just can't tell me you a Luciferian and I'm gonna be like he. Okay, we gonna be friends because I don't get that, right? But I think that what I'm seeing, right, is in New York we have over 500 mosques. Why are they all out in the street praying and stuff like that? And then we have some people talking about welcome to Man Danny's New York. This is New Yorkistan. What? I was like, this fool is crazy. It's like they are trying to force something or act like they trying to, and this could be staged. I don't know. But I do know they in the street praying and stuff. We just ain't never had that or that before. I understand they have to pray. I think that it's cost a lot. I understand that they pray 5 times a day, but not in the way or the manner they were doing it. Oh man, I got to show y'all this next video. Well, next time I come live because I don't have it. But the Dominicans were saying how we were bad for the culture, and that's why their children or their youth were acting up at their parade. I got to show y'all how they have the Bronx looking. I guarantee you when I get to TikTok, there's going to be a young lady. I love her dearly. She's also from the South Bronx. She's my TikTok niece. And every day she says, look, auntie, they tearing up the Bronx. I got to show you how. Okay, so we got the Muslims outside praying. We got the Dominicans just in lawn chairs. They turned the street, the actual street, into a water slide. Now, we used to play in the pumps and all of that. But was your mama letting you slide down the gravel, the pavement? Are we serious? Y'all gotta see this video. I gotta show it. And y'all know I be cussing people out about the Bronx and New York and stuff, but now I gotta, kind of, I ain't taking it back though, because, but I'm saying moving forward, I gotta show y'all the conditions of the Bronx. It's like we're reverting back to a time when it was really, really, really bad because of the when it was a guy on TikTok and he was saying, what was in New York besides Europeans and dirt? And I got on him like, hold up, Black Americans had a history and a church culture, music culture, this, that, and the third. Because I think we got it separated. Just like it's two Americas, there's two New Yorks. Black American New York, white people New York. Because they don't have, they're not Anglos necessarily. But yeah, they were dirty. But don't put that on Black Americans too. I get offended. But I got to show y'all the conditions because it's reverting backwards. It's not progressing in the Bronx, and I'm tired of it. But I'm gonna get out of my feelings and move on to the next resource. And so this resource is 5 minutes long. Here's where you might want to go get a drink, run to the restroom. Just make sure you got your AirPods in or your phone on speaker or your TV up if you're watching it on your television so that you can hear the resource. Fair use.
According to police, a 44-year-old man was shot in the head overnight today, Sunday, August 23rd. It all happened at 842 Rockaway Avenue in Brownsville. According to police, when officers arrived, they found two men had been shot, one in the head and a 39-year-old man who had been shot in the leg. EMS rushed both victims to Brookdale Hospital. The 44-year-old man was pronounced dead on arrival to the hospital, and the 39-year-old victim is in stable condition. Now, this video is showing friends and family outside of the establishment where the shooting took place, and police say that there has been no arrests made. Investigators have not released the reason for the possible shooting. The identity of the man who was killed has not been released either. They are waiting for a family notification. The shooting again happened within the 73rd precinct in Brownsville, and it happened overnight this morning between about 3 and 4 a.m. at 842 Rockaway Avenue. And today is August 23rd. It has been a very deadly summer between Brownsville and East New York. I'll have more about
Ali, excuse me. I acknowledge your comment. I just want to say this really fast. That lady talking about East New York and Brownsville, I want you to see who she is because East New York and Brownsville are predominantly foundational Black American places where we still have a stronghold. She's only talking bad about our places, right? Look at her. She's a Caribbean.
I wanna be somewhere where the music is. I wanna be somewhere where the fun.
All right, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, because I don't want to hear the music. But I wanted you to see that for the Caribbean, she's showing everything good. There's festivals, there's this, they that. The Caribbeans are in Flatbush. And I just saw a video the other day. Flatbush has crime. Okay? Crown Heights have crime. Why are you only talking about crime about my community? Our community, foundational Black Americans. So she is showing respect or hiding, but she's showing respect to her culture, the things that they do, this, that, and the third, but she is showing the degradation of ours. But there's the reason why East New York and Brownsville are that way. Fair use.
TLDR. Neighborhood population counts do not change the fact that foreign-born populations exhibit lower violent crime rates than native-born populations. Historical disinvestment created structural poverty that impacts native-born black communities most severely. Meanwhile, ICE tracks non-citizens through federal biometric fingerprint sharing at booking, a separate system completely independent of public crime reporting. 1. Historical disinvestment and population dynamics. Historical disinvestment refers to decades of policy-driven denial of resources to specific neighborhoods. Redlining and subprime targeting. Banks refused mortgages and business loans in black neighborhoods for decades, preventing wealth accumulation. Urban renewal and housing concentration. High-density public housing projects were concentrated in specific blocks, like Brownsville, while infrastructure and job opportunities were routed elsewhere. Resource deprivation. Lower tax bases led to underfunded schools, fewer community services, and limited local employment. Does population size account for the crime difference? No. Even when adjusting for population size, looking at crime rates rather than just raw totals, the immigrant rate differential remains consistent. While foundational black Americans outnumber Caribbean immigrants overall across NYC, they are disproportionately concentrated in the exact neighborhoods, like Brownsville and East New York, that suffered the most severe historical disinvestment. The higher rates of violence in these areas reflect generations of economic isolation and concentrated poverty, not ethnic lineage. Foreign-born Caribbean immigrants, by contrast, selectively migrated into areas like Flatbush, establishing commercial corridors and immigrant networks that provided different economic landing pads. 2. How ICE tracks non-citizens, biometrics versus public data. Public crime databases like NYPD Public Reports do not publish individual nativity status to protect privacy and comply with city laws. However, ICE does not rely on public crime stats. They rely on federal criminal justice databases. Local police arrest/booking filled down pointing triangle. Fingerprints scanned into FBI system, IAFIS, filled down pointing triangle. Automated cross-check with DHS immigration system, ident ladder heart, filled down pointing triangle. Match triggers automated ICE flag/detainer request. Fingerprint interoperability. When anyone is booked at a police precinct, their fingerprints are automatically sent to the FBI. Under federal programs, such as Secure Communities, the FBI automatically routes those prints to the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, database. Status match. The DHS database contains records of every non-citizen who has ever held a visa, green card, work permit, or border entry record. If the fingerprints match a non-citizen record, an automated alert is generated for ICE detainers. ICE then sends an administrative detainer request to the local jail, asking to hold or notify them before the individual is released. ICE's system operates purely on biometric background checks during law enforcement booking, completely independent of what is printed in public police logs.
So I wanted to show that. So when you say it's a deadly summer or whatever she was saying about East New York and Brownsville, that all immigration harms us, and that when the Caribbean migrated to Brooklyn and we started getting displaced and resources were taken from us and diverted to them, that's called disinvestment, where what is supposed to be for us started getting diverted to the immigrants and stuff like that. Also, I don't want them being identified as black. So I was trying to figure out, how could you tell me that when they are arrested or a description goes out, they're just black? How does ICE know who to deport then? Like, where that coming at if y'all not keeping these records according to what you said? Me, and when I say you, I mean the resource. And so that's why they were saying it's two different departments or processes or whatever the hell they were saying. But I have a question. You know how we fought for body cams? Can't we fight for fingerprint machines? So what I mean by that is, I went to take a city test, right? And they had me fingerprinted, meaning, or my finger scanned. They have a little square device where you put your forefinger in and they scan your finger. That's them running your background right there, correct? So why can't we have it mandated that they put something like that in a police car? They could do a test run with the shit. I don't care. But I'm tired of them being in our statistics. And okay, we're gonna get disaggregation. I know we are. But in the meantime, in between time, and even after the tween time, they need to know up front who they dealing with. Not when they get booked and marked as black. We need to know ASAP. What do y'all think about that idea? The same way we got the dashboard cams, the body cams. Why they can't unless they got it in some places? Y'all let me know. But there has to be a full process to disaggregation and delineation. Like them motherfuckers should be fingerprinted right there on the spot. So that's how my mind works sometimes. Because we know the root of the problem. The root of the problem is the government is not only being lazy, they are erasing us, right? And they probably have the resources or even thought of what I said already, right? It's probably not an original thought. They just don't want to implement it. And I'm not aware if we fought to have that implemented. But I think the same way they have the fingerprint machine, the little small one that's like a little square shaped thing for one finger, they should have that in police cars. And then Angelique says, wasn't Greg Abbott given the East Indian some recognition or tribute? He picks and chooses over these foreigners like the repubs have a tendency to do. Oh, I'm unaware. Greg Abbott is Texas. Is he Texas, Angelique? So, all right. I think, did I show you this one? I think I showed y'all this one. Yeah, I did. So we're going to skip that one there. We're going to go into Malcolm X. It's a few clips of Malcolm because I scrolled up on the Pan-African Live and he was responding to somebody who said, show me where Malcolm identified as African American. And then, the conversation changed to foundational Black Americans, aka FBA, being a hate group or a cult, and that we would call Malcolm a tether. And I was like, first of all, we wouldn't call Malcolm a tether because he has a full foundational Black American parent. And Malcolm wasn't scared to call out anybody. He even called out some African nations who said they would not help foundational Black Americans during the African Summit Conference of 1964. I said, first of all, a tether is a full immigrant. At best, somebody who is bi-ethnic or multi-ethnic, if they have a foundational Black American parent, then they're off code. Like, let's be clear. But I said, okay, everybody want to go to Malcolm X. And I dislike when they bring up his mother's ancestry. Malcolm loved his mother. He did have some issues with her because he felt she treated his siblings a little bit better than him because she didn't like who her father was or how she was conceived. She totally disassociated from the island. And then once her husband was killed, she could not take care of her children. So Malcolm was raised by his full foundational Black American family. The issue is when they bring that up in the aha moment or I gotcha moment, then they open her up to disrespect. They didn't care that Malcolm was part Caribbean in the 1990s. Nobody was talking about that, even though we knew it. So I said, okay, I saw some clips of Malcolm with James Farmer, and I thought it'd be interesting to show because I do primarily write about foundational Black American history, how it affects us today, and the racial complexities and how that affects us today. And so I don't kind of want to get lost in talking only about the immigrants, but I think at times we do need to hear and understand that Malcolm's words do resonate in today's time. A lot of his words. And I'm willing to bet that if he saw the progressives and their policies and the things that they want, he'd be against them too. The same way he said the white liberals are the worst, he'd have a few things to say about them immigrant progressives. So I really want to know, because I asked somebody, when did Malcolm say African American? I know he said Afro American, African in America, but I don't believe that I haven't heard him say African American unless I missed it. Y'all let me know if y'all heard, because that's what the Pan African was focusing on, debunking us and saying that Malcolm never said African American. But let's go to the clips. Fair use.
Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved. Yeah, this is a problem that stems from slavery. And this compensation, yes, sir, this compensation is coming to people who were enslaved by the white man for 400 years. The Puerto Ricans don't even fit into this picture.
Well, they do fit into it.
No,
they do fit into
the problem is the Negro problem. They're not lynching Puerto Ricans.
If a dark-skinned Puerto Rican went down to Mississippi, he probably would be lynched too.
Spanish, he wouldn't be lynched.
No, they don't.
It's the Negro here, and as long as he can speak Spanish or some other language, or if he ties his head up with a turban or something, he can go anywhere in Mississippi or in your home that he desires.
You're not aware of the fact, are you, that African students have been arrested in our demonstrations in the South?
When they
speak French.
When they have been mistaken for the so-called Negro in America, they've been arrested.
So I'm just seeing Allie's comment, and she's wondering if, since there was no news coverage of Gary, Indiana, could the immigrants have been sent there, like as a, that being a decoy for their arrival? I'm going to tell you, I don't think there is. I think the immigrants are in places that we would never think they would be, and that they're just waiting until they get their numbers up. Now, in the event that I'm wrong, anything is possible. We just saw the loophole where they're leaving their children so that we wind up taking care of them. These people have been doing some really slick things. And shout out to you, Hannah. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. The Ghanaian Ashanti King. Did you see the last live I had where I had the Jamaican ladies and they were going off about because I did mention it. I'm gonna just say this. He is trying to pull the same thing to those internationally that he did at the Negro burial ground. When he visited Jamaica, he went to the shrine of Marcus Garvey, y'all. And one of the Jamaican ladies, and I don't have the clip today, but I did show the clip previously. She was like, and he didn't even go to the maroon communities. And one was like, deport them. Oh, she was a little rough. And what she was saying sounded like what our American Indians say, to get the Africans out. They don't know their granny, and their granny ain't teach them their family history. And then they was talking about people that leave the island and the kids stay with the grandmother and stuff. So that's how they know their grannies and their grannies teach them stuff. And then she went into real deep patois, and I was just like, okay, I get the gist. But some Jamaicans are not happy with the Ghanaian president. Then he went to Howard. I looked at HBCU. They had African Takeover Day. They were waving Nigerian flags and all these other flags. And I was like, I hope they have the Black American Heritage flag posted somewhere. And we do know it's not the African American flag, okay? And it's not AAVE. I had to tell somebody earlier. I said, listen, because he said, listen to him talking in our AAVE. I said, Dr. Williams intentionally, I didn't want to say purposely, intentionally named our vernacular Ebonics. I said AAVE came in with academia, okay? And I have that resource too. Because I kept wondering, if he didn't want it named African American Vernacular English, then why is everybody running around saying that? And I'm starting to notice a lot of things switch from Negro and Black to African or African American, African this, African American that. African this, African American that. And I don't like that. That's an agenda, right? And that's all that. And if we have been documented in this country for 500 years, and they telling me that came in around the 19th or 20th century, that's when the Africans were allowed to migrate here. And then academia, I love academia, right? I love the fact that our college students and stuff will protest and stuff and take on courses, but we don't have to change everything to African, especially if the creator of the curriculum said they didn't want it associated with Africa. It's ours. So, what the research said, and I'm gonna have to bring not next slide because Arthur will be here next slide. The second live coming up. What the research said was academia changed it to keep up with modern times. Why are we conforming to immigrants? If they want things named after them or to be a derivative of them, they should stay home. So they're not even honoring the people that create things for us. Okay, I read that comment. Yeah, so the Ashanti King, I like the way that Afro broke it down. And so if y'all want more insight, y'all could go over there and be sure to like, share, and subscribe and say BX sent you. Even though y'all, that was a joke. I make corny jokes. But Afro is absolutely right. Because when he says we took over or we are in charge of reparations, I started thinking, and when he was saying it doesn't have to be about money, it could be other things like a formal apology. That man done bumped his head. I think somebody told him to do that. I really think that he's always been compromised, but even more so compromised where he wants to take authority over reparations and say no monetary allotment. All we need is XYZ. I think he's compromised in the fact that he may get a bag, right? Meanwhile, we left here talking about we don't need, like, that's dumb. And don't nobody want land in Africa. Why would I want a land where they all shitting on it? We don't want that land, y'all. We do not want that land. And he is not the representative of anything. There's still slavery in Ghana. When he going to talk about that? So I'm going to just say this. No, he ain't in charge of nobody's reparations. In 2016, and during one of the Bush administration, the UN, no, it wasn't 2016 then. Obama was in office. Yeah, 2016. So Obama was in office. And then during a Bush administration, the UN already told the United States they owe us a formal apology and reparation. I think Bush gave us a half-assed apology. Obama ain't do shit. And Bush didn't, give us reparations either. But for us, it's a matter of red tape and getting the immigrants out of office so that we could be the ones to either pass the legislation or improve the legislation for us to get reparations, right? So we don't need a Ghanaian president. We don't need CARICOM. We don't need any African, Caribbean, or Afro-Latino. Got to say that because they showed up in New York reparations. We don't need them on a commission. We don't need none of that. And we know the UN is actually the US from what everybody's saying. The US don't be listening. But it is a matter of red tape for us. We don't need the people tethering on to us. We don't need nobody riding our coattails. We could stand alone and get reparations. See, thank you, Ali. That's about the fingerprints. Thank you, y'all. Because it's something got to give. Because when the y'all heard the resource, when they get arrested, they just taking in and the fingerprinting and the hold for ICE and stuff come later. Because I was like, if everybody's just black, then how do they know? Or if they're not taking certain information, how does ICE know who to pick up? Why are you lying to me? Like, this is how I talk to to Gemini. Why are you lying? Like, don't give me politically correct answers. I'm not pro-immigrant. And then they'll give the correct answer, like more balance. Because they be having a lot of sympathy. It was because during that time in this, I want to hear all that. I know the truth. Just give me the source that backs up what it is. And what happened? That's why I said last week that we're not concentrating on the census enough. I'm with you. I think we do have to fill out the census. And I also mentioned because of genealogy. Do you see how we're all into genealogy and one day we will be ancestors? How do our descendants find us down the line? Not everybody, I got to tell you, family Bibles get lost. Obituaries get lost. You know how many pictures I lost? Because I have moved a lot. I done lived in 4 of the 5 boroughs in New York, and I used to live in Georgia too. Once as a child, once as an adult with one of my children. People move. Then you got big families, so somebody might hide the family Bible because they don't want Cousin Shirley getting the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Just dumb shit. So I think that we do need to concentrate on the census for genealogical purposes and to let people know that we're still here. Nobody is outnumbering us. The only way that an immigrant class outnumbers us if it's all the immigrants. But if you break them down one by one by one by one versus like Puerto Ricans compared to foundational Black Americans, we're going to outnumber them. Yeah. Yeah, I said that. I said that. I don't want no damn land that's being shit on. And look, Allie's got the right thing too, going around trying to recast spells. Yeah, that's gonna backfire on him. Gonna feel that they still own some of our ancestors' body, and so even after that's what it's seeming like. And Ali said, yeah, I don't want land that was shit. That's just nasty. Um. And Angelique reminds everybody to like, share, and subscribe. So I have been up here for a little over 2 hours. And I did say we're going to get into. So I have 3 more clips from Malcolm X, and then I'm going to shut it down. I might come back later if nobody's really live on TikTok or anything. But I do have a meeting at 4. So fair use.
The Negro didn't make the game. See, as long as someone is giving you something, he can always take it back. And this is the mistake this is where our people are making the mistake. We are sitting, waiting for white. Nobody gets the Negro anything. I don't mean it in that sense. Either in court or out of court, we've been sitting and waiting for the man to give us some concessions. Now, whenever you ask if you're asking the white power structure for jobs, that's only a temporary solution. If you ask the white power structure for housing, that's a temporary solution. As Mr. Farmer said, where the Negro used to ask for equality, now he's asking for more. He's asking for more than equality. Well, likewise, if they give us more than equality, 10 years from now, we're going to be asking for more than that because the problem has still not gotten a real solution. Just one moment, let me finish what I'm going to say. As long as we accept a temporary solution, the problem will go unsolved. It'll be solved for you and me right now, but not for our children. If the black nations in Africa, most of which have a less number of educated Africans than exist among black people in this country, yet they can establish their own independent nations and try and create a future for their people, then Mr. Muhammad says here in America there are enough black people who profess to be educated, and when all of this with all this talk about equality with the white man, if we're equal with the white man, why can't we separate from him and set up our own government and go for ourselves and solve our own problems?
One brief question.
If we
That still applies today, correct, family? We have to govern ourselves, and we have to get, and to do that, we got to get the immigrants out of office too. So some people are still wondering if they should vote or not. Or they're still talking about, if they should vote or not. I'm gonna tell you this. I can't tell you who to vote for, right? Voting actually is a personal decision. It really is. Like, so I was raised by boomers. There's some things we just didn't really talk about, or we weren't supposed to talk about, right? But what I'm noticing is on some panels they be like age, race, and who you voted for, and it's just like, so I'm gonna say this: policy over skin politics. People are upset that foundational Black Americans aren't voting for just anyone Black. That we're actually looking at policies and seeing if it's good for our community or not. Fuck them people. You know why? Because they usually immigrants, right? And the whole thing is some immigrants will vote Republican. There's not one easy fix to them. But I got to tell you this. I was so upset that Trump went and appointed a Trinidadian, okay, to be a ambassador to Trinidad. So she was actually born in Trinidad, migrated here at one point in her life, is in office. So I start saying, what does an ambassador to, does a U.S. ambassador really do? Can they make decisions for foundational Black Americans? I'm asking all these questions, and I felt better. I said, oh, she can't really do anything for or against us, right? But then I remembered something. She's not new to politics. This may be a new position for her, but she's out of Florida. And so I started looking that she's a Republican, Trump's a Republican, and it could be one of those things, do me a favor, I'll do you a favor. So then I started asking, as a U.S. ambassador to Trinidad, can she collaborate with Yvette Clarke? Now, if anybody know me, they know Yvette Clarke and me, we gonna tussle. We just gonna tussle, right? And I was like, oh, she can. She can help create bills with Yvette Clarke for the Caribbean. Then I looked at her policies that she had while she's in office already, because she's appointed already in Florida, a Republican, just like Brian Donald. And she does a lot of policies for export, and she primarily uses her Caribbean background to help the Caribbean. So, I got to tell you, even if an immigrant, a melanated immigrant, is a foreigner, born over there or over here, they all have something in common. They still gonna look out for their people. So why would I, knowing that, still vote for them? So I started telling them I ain't voting the way you want me to vote, because if I vote the way you want me to vote, only you will benefit. But I ain't gonna benefit. We're not obligated to vote for others to benefit, and we don't benefit. So I can't tell you who to vote for. I can't tell you to check their policies. We are delineating, right? Well, we're delineated, most of us, some still, I don't know what y'all doing. But, but policy over skin politics. We got to cut that out. And don't let nobody shame you for the way that you voted, because guess what? their ancestors didn't die for the right for them to vote. Our ancestors died for our right to vote. And we ain't got to listen to them trying to make fun of us because we're not going to vote their way, or we may vote a little differently, or we may hold some people accountable. We've been, we black and nobody going to do nothing for us. The blatant disrespect of what I seen from when Kamala said, I ain't going to do nothing just for black people. And then everybody started getting stuff. It's like, oh yeah, you come over the border, you hop over the gate, you go over there coming that way. You know what I'm saying? Skydive, whatever the fuck you got to do to get to New York. You going to get all the benefits if you get there, if you get to Chicago, if you get to Miami. And people been getting things left and right. And we still talking about skin politics? Mm-mm. So that's a mental illness. That's a scarcity mindset, y'all. Everybody can have everything but your own people. So I can't tell you who to vote for, but I can tell you that voting is important and why it's important. Because we can no longer go this way where people, right, who, those who descend from the people who fought for everything, lost life, limb, and liberty. Let's not forget liberty. Are not benefiting from the things that they fought for, and everybody else can. That's not fair to us, y'all. That's not fair to their memory. So I'm gonna ask y'all to do your due diligence. Okay, I personally been a independent since 2016 when I had to vote for Trump or Hillary. And at that time, I wasn't on no Trump is America First stuff. I was like, one of those people until you start doing your research or you start noticing something different. I gotta be honest, I never really thought Kamala was gonna win. Why? Because Hillary lost and she's a white lady. I knew they wasn't ready for the Indian chick. Nobody believed me though. Not that I told everybody, because you just can't talk to people sometimes. They all with the Republicans, it's bad. We're going back in change. So if you like the momentum of America First policies, then, progressives, they ain't it, y'all. They just not it. Now, you know what? I do want to kind of keep going with these other videos, and they not a lot. It's really not a lot. Or I could just hop to the I want y'all to remember this right here. I'm gonna show you a few videos. I want you to remember this, and then I'm gonna introduce something new to y'all. Well, you probably saw it already, but I'm gonna put my spin on it for y'all, okay? Y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe for me. Don't forget that I do have membership options, and they come with really cool perks. Republicans are not putting America first. What about Trump? You think Trump is putting America first? Hanak? And let me check your comment, because that one just caught my attention. I'm sorry, y'all. I was up here, talking. Well, we do have some candidates who are running under independent, but they're in certain states. So I know New York has a guy who's running, but he's running under the and he's lineage Redemption Party, but it's for governor, I believe. I just don't see any advertisement for him. So it's like word of mouth. There's Rhonda Hamilton in DC. I believe I'm not sure if Laverne Turner from Minnesota is still running. We got to get our ass in those seats, y'all. So how do all immigrants run? Some are legacy seat holders. Immigrants didn't understand the government purpose purposefully puts them near each other to pick them up easier, so it makes them think they have bigger numbers than they do. Exactly. I'm not sure if you were in the room, but that's what I was saying too. And when you hear a Black American from New York say that we are outnumbered, that means they live in an enclave. They just don't realize it. Or they're using Wikipedia sources. Vote your interests, skip those that offer nothing. Correct. Pay attention to down ballot candidates because they affect you directly. Correct. Policy is key. Correct. Thank you, Shani. Yeah, I think you know what? Republicans are putting America first, except if you're JD Vance, right? Because JD Vance is talking about the H-1B1 visa, but he doesn't have an action plan. Um, all immigration harms foundational Black American communities, especially if you're in sanctuary cities. Somebody from Newark, okay, a Democrat, just got arrested for hitting ICE for the immigrants. She ain't Republican. So yeah, they putting America first. Illegal immigrants gotta go. Foreign aid is stopping. Visa restrictions. America isn't the land of immigrants. That started in 1920. So, but again, I can't tell y'all who to vote for. Policy over skin. Yeah, I heard about that. The beef. Right. And so the post that I saw said, lay off beef for a while. This is what Trump did. I can admit he's wrong. I can admit he's wrong about the Philadelphia house. Good morning, Armageddon. I can admit that he's wrong about the Philadelphia house where he removed the plaques to kind of romanticize slavery. So I always say I'm not going to agree with everything Trump does because he is, at the end of the day, a white man. White men are inherently racist, right? However, I'm not doing another Biden and Kamala administration. I'm not doing the progressives from New York at all. I'm not doing it. But I can't tell you who to vote for. So, but I can tell you, don't do skin politics. It's just not really going to work. Why? Because no matter how many times you drill something into an immigrant's head, guess what? They never fully understand Black American side at all. It's always a but. And then when I say, okay, or when they say, but it's not everybody, okay, I know that, duh. So what are you going to do to kind of help us be treated more fairly so we're not systematically locked out? They don't want to hear nothing. Let me tell you something. They won't even think about not voting Democrat. Mind you, we got more than two parties. So why should I care about a people that are so selfish they won't even listen to reason? I ain't even say vote Republican. We got more than two parties. I did say we need to get our asses in there. I just gave you names of people who are Black American that's running for office. So we have options, but everybody want to stick with the Democrats. Why? Because they out there beating up ICE for immigrants. That's why. And we ain't immigrants. But I'm going back to the resource because I really want y'all to see this. I know it's going on one. Y'all might have something to do. So remember this here, fair use.
And so the very people that were the reason why Wall Street even has its standing today is because of Haiti. And Haiti also helped us when we were facing the Civil War. A lot of Black Americans think after slavery, oh, we just happened to get funding from banks. No, my love, the reason we were able to fund Black Wall Street, and I want people to fact check me here, is because Haiti was actually funneling a lot of money here to help Black Americans get their first loans so that they can start infrastructure here, because there were a lot of Black Haitian millionaires. But of course, they're going to leave this part out of the story, because then you're going to wonder, well, why are they here? They're illegals. What is the reason why they specifically targeting the Haitians? Well, of course, if you want to specifically target Haitians, where's the check? Who's cutting the check? Because you guys walked away with right now that would be worth $95 billion. So who's going to cut the check to Haiti? Why y'all want to send them back? Give us the money back that you stole from us, that you continue to rob this country of, because they were the first people to tell you, hey, we're not going to deal with your dehumanizing of humans. So then cut us the check, then we can leave.
Haiti gained their freedom in 1804, right? So this is from France. And we know that ever since then,
we still had to
it's
pay
been
France.
A problem. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
500 million.
And America was very instrumental in making sure that that happened, right?
Correct.
Then you have the Spaniards. They freed themselves from the Spaniards. So now we're up to here. Now, are we, like, you're punishing them because of that?
Yes.
I mean, America has been doing that from the moment we received our freedom, because when the United States found out Haiti received its freedom, they didn't report it. They didn't want anybody in the United States to even know that Haitians gained their freedom. And so they put out what we considered in the mail propaganda about who Haitians are, what they do. They're cannibals. They're doing this. They're doing that. And they didn't want the United States to even find out that Black people gained their freedom and were able to even migrate to Haiti, because our general at the time said, all Black people, if you come to this land, you are free.
You are free.
Personal vendetta at this point.
Yeah,
personal vendetta.
Absolutely.
Now, not that two Haitian women. The two Haitian women are a few shades darker than the other lady with the real long hair, right? Did y'all think that she presented herself as a Black American? The way she was talking, we are, at the end of the day, we're all Black. I mean, I thought something was off with her. I thought she couldn't really defend. She didn't really have a full knowledge of history to understand that it was our ancestors who actually literally built Wall Street and then were auctioned off, right? So they built Wall Street to what it is today. When the Haitian lady, and I played the research the other day, if not mistaken, said that their gold was taken and that's why Wall Street is the way it is today in 1914, because America invaded Haiti. So that is a lie, right? We do know America went in, but you know what the Haitians never talk about? They never talk about from post 1804 to 1915. They never talk about 1911 through 1915. So when you do the research, the white people couldn't really own land in Haiti, but they found a way to kind of sneak their way in and kind of change that by marrying Haitians. Right? But first, let's go to 1805. In 1805, Dessalines removed the colonial racial construct of the word Black, the ethnonym. And their Black is noir, actually. But he changed it so that they could include their allies, the Germans and the Polish, right? So from 1911 through 1915, America didn't say anything. They were wondering, they didn't say nothing. But in 1915, they could no longer allow certain things to go on. So they went in and took the gold, right? But that gold went to Citibank. But the Haitians never really talk about when they tried to, the resources say forced labor. I was like, wasn't forced labor slavery? There's like, yeah, well, technically. When they tried to go over there and enslave the Dominicans and got their ass whooped all the time. So it's a little ludicrous for her to think that there was slavery in America, but that Haitians built Wall Street to what it is. The gold did not stimulate Wall Street, it went to Citibank. So if she wants some money back, which she's not going to get, she has to go after Citibank. As far as funneling money to foundational Black Americans, they were broke. They took out predatory loans. From who? The French banks. And they had money to send to us? Is she for real? Also, okay, yeah, there was a general who said that Black Americans could go there. They went there. They came back home. So I ain't even going to lie like, oh no, we ain't go over there. And some did go over there. It was not conducive to them. What else did she say? So that's all I want to say there. I did play a resource before where it broke all that down. But the lady who was sitting there, thank you, Armageddon. I thought she was saying that she was a Black American. She said, Black, we all Black, this, that, and the third. So, yeah, because America had a big part in that. Now, look at this cosplay. I'm going to call her a cosplayer because watch this. Fair use.
We talked about being Haitian. We talked about being Jamaican. Willie was sitting here and he talked about how he's had issues of people saying that maybe he's not enough. And he said most of his people that he had that conflict with were Jamaican. I was saying that overall, I know that that's a situation that Americans have had. If you want to say Black Americans have had. We talked about it. But then when I said that I'm American, you seem to have had an issue with that. And I want to understand why. Because it's okay for you to say Jamaican, but then if I say I'm American, you take issue with that.
I don't have any issue with anybody claiming whatever they are. That's not my business. I was confused, if anything, in seeking clarity because when I was first introduced to you, it was told to me, I want to say it was from you that you were Afro-Latina. Mm-hmm. So I just was trying to figure out at what point did you not become Afro-Latina and are you now just Black?
Yeah, well, I am Black. It doesn't change that I'm American and I'm Black. Whether it's Afro-Latina or not, it doesn't change how I'm seen. It doesn't change my ethnicity of being here in America. One parent doesn't change that. Both of my parents are from America. My grandparents are from America. Their grandparents are from America. No, they didn't immigrate here.
So yesterday you told Sunset that your grandfather was from Cuba. That's immigration.
Well, he can be from Cuba, and guess where he at? Back there. But that doesn't negate me being American. Where does that cause the conflict for you? Because that's a grandfather.
I never said maybe you felt one that wasn't there.
I do, because you got this visceral anger about
maybe that's what you interpreted. That's not what it was. Now we're having a conversation, and it would be nice to be able to clarify that. And if you felt like there was some tension from me, you cannot have a qualm with where you are, who you're from, who your people are, and what you identify as. Maybe any look or thought or sound that I may have emitted was because I just didn't understand. My understanding of you when I was first introduced to you was that you were Afro-Latina. Just as yesterday when Sunset asked you, are your people from anywhere else? You said no. Then she said, are your people from anywhere else? Then you said, oh, my grandfather is Cuban. So I just don't know, just like he was saying,
but
people
are matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to understand. Isn't it what we're talking about?
But now you understand.
I'm not understanding because you're not clarifying.
I did just clarify. Okay. I don't think you're listening because I told you this before. I've even heard you sit here at this table and put down Americans. They can go back in the videos and put down Black Americans.
What did I say about that?
Even to the point one time when you said these Black Americans, you all just need to take whatever monies you can get. If you're working, if somebody offers you $5, take it. Why is it you all don't want to work for anything?
Me, it's disheartening, and low-key I do feel attacked, but I don't want to take it personal, even though I've sat here plenty of times and heard you and Willie attack people that are not from this country. Nod your head in corroboration with Willie when he's saying people should go back to their country, all these other type of things, and how immigrants come here and claim things.
Now you're trying to sell a narrative. Go back at any moment and they can hear the things you've said.
Let's
about
take it back at any
Black
moment.
American.
Okay.
So you see why I say she's a cosplayer? She said, I'm Black and I'm American. That's what the tethers always say. They conveniently leave out the ethnic group. And then when she went to I'm American, they're American, they're American, they're American, they're American. The Jamaican girl looked like I got her now. Well, didn't you say that your grandparent was Cuban? That's immigration. But what does it matter? So I go with what they lead with, right? Especially when you're dealing with bi-ethnics. If they come up and they be like, I'm Caribbean, and then later on in the conversation, they get to saying, well, I got a black this and a black that. No, 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 no. We gonna go with what you led with. Because they get to tell us who they are. That lady told, notice she didn't give no pushback when the lady said, but yesterday or the other day, you were saying you're Afro Latina. Now, peep what I just peeped. She said that the host of the show kept asking the Afro Latina, where else do your people come from? They had a conversation already. The host wanted to make it clear that in case, because everybody know we be like, where your people from? We don't like cosplayers. So she was giving the other lady an out. Or she was telling on her. Because sometimes motherfuckers be telling on. So when she was like, yeah, and she kept asking you where where your is where else are your family from? Where else are where is your family from? And so yeah, she's sitting there and see how defensive she got? Because she's not a black American, but they have her in this sort of position where she's sort of trying to posture herself as if she is one, and if she has the full capacity to talk about American history. She can't even talk about American history. Because I could have said the history of Haiti in the bank without even interjecting us in there, because that's American history. She don't know American history. So why the fuck should she be sitting there talking about Black American history, or as a Black person? She's Afro Latina, and that is fine. What is not fine is to sit there posturing yourself like you're a foundational Black American, while the other one totally diminishes and contributes to our ethnocide. That's erasure. We built Wall Street. And so I know that we've been going around showing these videos, but we got to treat them like 154. We got to start boycotting even the podcast, y'all. We're going to need some I spies, but there are ways to don't share their videos directly from their site. Either screen record it or download it and then post it on your page, right? Say fair use. For the simple fact that we can't get them, no, can't continue to keep giving people shine and clicks, likes, and views turn into followers, and you know what I'm saying? They get endorsements, 15 minutes of fame. The Jamaican lady was calm, right? And I dislike when tethers argue, and sometimes I gotta pick a tether. And I'm with the Jamaican lady. When did you become Black if yesterday you were Afro Latino? And we're taking Afro back. So that means, when did you become Black? When you were African Latina. And this is why I said it's important for us to go over how even the Latino Caribbean identifies. So after tomorrow's live, I'll be sure to do that the next time we come live. I'll have it all nice and hooked up. But I'm gonna try to see. I see your comments, y'all. Y'all laughing and stuff. What happened? What Lover True said? Tether on tether violence. Yeah. And to see what it is, because there might be something explaining that. Like, I like to put resources to things so people can't try to debunk me. But I want you to see something else, right? Let's go to this. There won't be any sound because of the music. Then I don't want to get like a strike or a copyright. But watch this, y'all. It's going to be like 3 videos in succession. Fair use. That's the nightlife in Haiti, y'all. A part of Haiti. So not all of Haiti is messed up. There was somebody who went on vacation to Haiti, or maybe even to visit home. Maybe that's her home. I believe I have the video of the person who posted this picture. Right. She's showing the beaches, the good side of Haiti. And so let me show you what I like this content creator. So fair use. I'm gonna show you what she was saying because I had to video it without the music, and now we'll get to her words and her thoughts. Fair use.
And trying to stay in the United States of America because the administration that is in charge is telling them, heck no, you gotta go because Haiti is safe enough for you. And they're like, no, the flip it isn't. It's dangerous, right? Even I believe it's dangerous, right? But when I see something like this, I say, well, dag, I was wrong. I was wrong. It's not dangerous. It's they're doing well, which is great. So which is it, right? So on one hand, you have this level, whatever level of danger, but it's in certain parts. So basically what Haitians are saying on this video is, yeah, it's safe enough for them to come back. Okay. On the flip side, you have Haitians saying, no, it's not. And so this is why this whole thing right here, I don't know who, but this confirms what Trump administration is saying. They can go back home. Their danger is just like anybody else's danger. This is what it's saying. Their danger is like anybody else's danger in the world. Their country has certain parts that are messed up, but other than that, they're fine. They can just go live somewhere else. They can go back home. This is what this video is saying. Okay. So nope. If just by, and I'm pretty level-headed. This is what I think. Okay. If I'm just looking at this video, I'm like, oh shoot, they can go home. They can go home. For real. They can go home. Nothing's wrong in Haiti, right? But watch this. If I put on my thinking cap, right? I'm like, okay, but the problem is that all the other areas around Haiti may be fine outside of the capital and things of that nature, right? But all the roads lead back to the capital. And a lot of I read somewhere that like almost half of all the medical personnel, meaning that there's absolutely not, they're not available. They have a huge shortage. So if you have a medical emergency, you might be short. There's some kind of scarcity with food and things of that nature going in Haiti as well. So
y'all know I had to see what the family was saying on there. And some people was like, nope, it's safe enough. Bye, gotta go. Even if it wasn't, we don't care. But watch this young lady. I believe that she was the one who posted that video. And here's her reason why. Fair use.
See why Haiti is in the state that it's in. Genuinely breaks my heart. Because I love some of my people, but like y'all, Haitian people, we are a big part of the reason as to why Haiti is not progressing. Going back to Haiti, I went to OCAP. I'm thinking that I'm doing a great thing, showing other Haitian people who may be interested in going back home what my experience was like being back in Haiti after 16 years. Y'all, the comments that I'm receiving from Haitian people, it's actually ridiculous. Being blamed for people's asylum applications not going through. They're saying I'm giving Trump a reason to not approve people's papers, as if Trump himself is the person that does that. They're saying me showing that I'm having a good time in OCAP, somehow bad advertisement, or it's insensitive to those who are living in less safer parts of Haiti. I'm getting comments from racists saying stay home, but I expect that. In a video where I was showing how safe I was in Haiti, somebody left this comment saying, and so many people were leaving these types of comments too. Do me a favor and go to Port-au-Prince and you'll see. I know for sure this in Port-au-Prince and you wouldn't dare do that shit in Port-au-Prince. Why are we commenting about Port-au-Prince in a video about OCAP? The white man introduced propaganda and the Haitian people in the States are just carrying it on their backs. Like he says, please don't listen to these people. They're gonna try to kidnap you. These are all Haitian people. Go to Port-au-Prince. I want to see some. Just wasn't your time, babe. Wait, it's almost like y'all don't want a safer Haiti. Like that's what I'm reading. How is it that I'm showing y'all you can go back to Haiti because this particular part is safe? Y'all are all in my comment section telling me why don't you go to the unsafe part? Like I'm are y'all dead ass? Prince is not all of Haiti. Y'all are acting like me showing the beautiful beaches that Haiti has is gonna be the reason why somebody's asylum application gets denied. You're thick in the skull. So smart, you're dumb. Because the issue here, elephant in the room that you're walking past, it's racism. Oh my God, it's racism. You're telling me people over here had no idea that Haiti Haiti had beautiful beaches, the pearl of the Antilles. Finding out for the first time from my video. So I'm supposed to be okay with walking around with people believing that my country is a shithole country? They'll never fly with me, and I'm always going to show how beautiful my country is. Nobody is forcing you to go to Haiti, babe. If you don't want to go, don't fucking go. I was just showing how I was having a good time. And if that triggers you, I'm seeing a lot of y'all talk about 150 is way too much money for a 5-hour 3-beach excursion for 3 people. So $150 divide by 3 people to tour the beaches of Haiti is too expensive for y'all. So $60 seafood platter on the beach is too much for y'all. I've clocked the issue. Haitians in America, the ones with their papers specifically, look down so bad on Haiti. They're suffering so bad from classism. They look down on the country and the people living in the country because they genuinely think that they're better than them, living an American lifestyle. Well, babe, your black ass with that Haitian accent, nobody even fucking respects you in the workplace. Every day, I see why Haiti is in the state.
See, there's a whole, and to be honest, with the Port-au-Prince Haitians, the one who got TPS, I was really surprised that there was a spot like Cap Haitian. And I found that out, had to be about a year ago. Because the way they act like all of Haiti is messed up. So I don't know. The other people, it seemed like the people on the islands, nobody wants the Haitians. Now, their government is making deals for the Haitians to come there among some other people, but there are Latinos being shipped to Africa. I don't know what they did wrong, why they not going back to their country. What I don't know. I don't even think it's my business, right? But it was dire enough to get them up out of here. Now they in Africa, stuck over there. And hopefully the ones stuck over there were the really, really anti-Black American ones that was just telling us to go back to Africa and we this and we that and just they could say the N-word. I hope those are the ones that get sent back to Africa so they could really be over there. And they were the ones sent back. So we could say, see, you are African. You are African descent. Stay your ass over there. I think they need to be faced with those conditions. Armageddon, what are you talking about? You on Splat? What's up? And Shandy says, busted. Only us. Oh yeah, they do ride the fence on us. Ava Carter, hey Ava. They don't want to return to their homeland, which is crazy since they have so much 1804 pride. Correct. Now, when 1804 happened, it wasn't just in Port-au-Prince, right? It was for the whole island? Or am I confused? I don't know. But they ain't got to go home, but guess what they got to do? Get the hell up out of here. That's what the hell they got to do. I tell you. Y'all like, share, and subscribe to me. I just want to see what these resources are, and if they could wait, then I could, shut this down. To my replay gang who will watch this, you too, like, share, and subscribe. Check the bio for calls to actions, my other work. Be sure to click my link tree. Hopefully it's in the bio. So that way you can see everything in one spot. How to monetarily support the platform through PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. How you can also sign all calls to actions. See my other collaborations on different platforms. And if you like urban fiction, I have urban fiction. There's sci-fi that my son wrote, right? It's an audiobook, and I have an audiobook up there too. Oh, my merch and accessories, okay? So I do have, unbeknownst to people, we can't get some people. We're not getting sued. Tyreek is not suing us. And Igbo, Caribbean, Yoruba, what else? Jamaica, Caribbean, Black American, African American, African are all Puerto Rico. All of those are trademark. And so Foundational Black American, that is trademark as well, or FBA. However, as FBA, we are still allowed to have our merchant accessories. I have mugs, throw pillows, okay? If you got fur babies, Got some fur babies. If you travel and you got to take a lot of equipment or stuff with you, or if you want to spend the night out and you want something cute and lightweight and convenient, I got really cool duffel bags too. Okay, y'all. Got aprons, hoodies, t-shirts, jersey dresses. Go ahead and check out my merch. Okay. So let's see what this is. Fair use. Are y'all into conscious rap? Because that's what that is. But I could save that for another segment. So your girl, unless y'all want to hear it. So there are allegations that Rhapsody said that the lineation was for meatballs. Ah. And I'm just like, dang, because out of everybody, I kind of liked her. But you can't be coming at, if you want to be Pan-African, fine, but you don't have to comment on us because we're not bothering you. A lot of foundational Black Americans mention Rhapsody's name when we talk about hip hop. How it had went on the decline. But I believe that she is in South Africa. She goes back and forth from like the States to South Africa. She's been on Fat Joe and Jadakiss live and stuff like that. So it just comes down to a matter of respecting us. And then somebody from Twitter was like, dang, Rhapsody, you just isolated the one group who were really going to buy your music. And I was like, dang. Oh, you know who? He's making, his tours and stuff. He is, I don't know, this might be like promotion. But I do have a petition to keep him out of Black American spaces. There are newsletters coming out of the Bronx that heavily support Fat Joe. I don't give a fuck about none of that. He can talk to them all he want. But what he cannot do is put his mouth on us. And so, yeah, he has some project coming out, and he has some Black American artists on there. Young Miami, all these people. Remember her argument her heavy discussion with India Irie. Okay, well, she's in alignment there with Fat Joe. Of course, Remy is going to be on it. I'm trying to think. Do I have? Oh, don't forget the power of the vote, y'all. They win one seat. Now, New York, we got to talk. We got to talk. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? So, we have to understand that all 6 Haitian and Haitian American candidates lost their Florida primaries. Progressives, I don't know how you feel about them, but they have shown up at our reparations hearings. Oh, Cardi B is a social progressive. AOC is a progressive. Ma'am Danny is a progressive, and every candidate he backed that won are progressives. So this isn't to anybody outside of New York. This is to New York FBA. Okay? So that's why I say I can't tell you who to vote for, but why it's important to vote. See this? See this? See what happens when you vote? But I look at New York now. Y'all know I love New York, but come on, New York, love y'all. And that's all I'm willing to say. And he was like, let's talk about it. BX, I like you. I don't like so-called celebrities. I like you too, Jimmy. I know I'm not a celebrity. So I expect you to like me. Fat Joe never could rap. Big Pun was the man. Yes. Yes, Big Pun he was lyrical and he gave props where props was due. Oh, political hip hop. Yeah. Shani says, I'm not in the replay game. Glad I caught the live. Love me some BX. Love to all my FBAs. Love you too. DNA splicing. What y'all got going on up here? Deportation, DNA scrambling. I got to tell you, them genealogy groups are looking a mess to me because my naked eye sees people trying to make our mulattoes Africans, saying they came from Africa. And I'm just like, I can't cut up in here too much. I got to keep an eye on things, you know. But
now watching world premiere of The White Man.
Everyone knows that race is not a biological fact. It don't really exist.
What would you identify with?
That's what you are. That's what you are. You are Yoruba. I'm trying to figure out why, if you are Yoruba and you could go as Nigerian, why do you need black?
Sir, in the West, I am referred to.
And let me ask you this again. In your language, what is, hold on, in your language, what is black?
Dudu.
What the fuck is that smell? What's the word for black in your language?
Dudu.
And what the hell is that smell? Doo-doo. Right, so that's what you are. You are doo-doo.
Squat on that. Squat on that and stay there.
You are doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
You are doo-doo Jirian. What the fuck is that smell? But anyway, let's go to Keisha real quick. Then we're going to open the panel back up. Good morning, Keisha.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted him to name what he thinks the white people gave us, since he thinks that they gave us something. What do you think they gave us, T?
Your language, your religion, your customs, your food, your clothing. Your foods come from the scraps the slave master gave you. Everything in your culture comes from whitey people. You guys are not a natural ethnicity. It comes from whitey people. Yo,
we're going to have a quick commercial break. This is dedicated to T. Like the live, y'all. Share the live. Let's get the 50K likes. Let's get the 35 shares, y'all. This song is dedicated to T. The tea and crumpet eater. The tea and crumpet eater. This is dedicated to you, bruv.
I just want to please the white man. The white man feed me. The white man teach me. The white man free me. The white man need me. The white man. The white man. Oh, I love the white man. The white man. The white man. I will shed blood for the white man. The white man. The white man. I only praise the white man. The white man. The white man. The reason I flee from my homeland. The white man. The white man. I only believe in the white man. The white man. The white man. I just want to please the white
man. These people love the white man. They love the white man. He will pick cotton out of white man's ass. Yes, he would.
I send my key to the
white man.
I bleach my skin for the white man. I only kill for the white man. I will never steal from the white man. I only pray to the white man. I want to flee to the States.
For the white man.
I have a smile on face.
For the white man.
I want to stay with the white man.
Hey, you notice they love to say the white man. The white man. America is the white man's country.
Hey, y'all.
Yep. The white man.
TLDR. Community leaders sent a joint letter to Mayor Zohran Mamdani warning that deep excavation for the proposed 16-story Manhattan borough-based jail in Chinatown could depress the water table, cause the surrounding land to sink, and severely damage adjacent historic buildings and senior housing. Overview. A coalition of 18 Chinatown community leaders issued an urgent appeal to Mayor Zohran Mamdani, Deputy Mayor Julia Kurson, Close Rikers Czar Dana Kaplan, and City Council Speaker Julie Menon. The letter urges the administration to halt and reconsider plans for a 16-story, approx 300-foot tall, borough-based detention facility at 124 to 125 White Street, the site of the demolished Manhattan Detention Complex. Key details and concerns: geological and structural risk. The jail site sits directly above the soft, waterlogged ground of the historic Collect Pond. Digging for the project requires the deepest excavation ever attempted on the site, well below the groundwater table. Impact on surrounding buildings. Citing structural evaluations by architect William Bielowski, leaders noted that many surrounding century-old buildings rely on submerged wooden pilings. Lowering the water table exposes these supports to air, risking rapid deterioration, ground sinking, and structural compromise. Structures in the danger zone. The letter highlights specific risks to small businesses, historic properties along Baxter Street, and the Chungpak Senior Housing Complex. Key signatories. Prominent leaders signing the letter include Vic Lee, Welcome to Chinatown. Jan Lee, Neighbors United Below Canal. Thomas Yu, Asian Americans for Equality. And Wayne Ho, Chinese American Planning Council. The city's position and counterarguments. Engineering safeguards, city officials and developers, Tudor Perini, maintain that continuous underground concrete retaining barriers, a pile wall system, will isolate the excavation, control groundwater levels, and prevent soil displacement. Riker's mandate. The $3.9 billion Manhattan facility, slated for completion around 2032, is part of the legally mandated $16 billion plan to close the Rikers Island complex and open 4 modern borough-based facilities near courthouses. Alternative proposals. Community advocates continue to press the administration to use the city-owned White Street site for 100% affordable housing and redirect jail facilities to unused federal land, such as the vacant Metropolitan Correctional Center on Park Row.
I want to say thank you, y'all. I got through all the videos that I had planned out. So we still have to go through the Caribbean identity, the Latino identity, the way they identified on their islands. Listen, I ain't even bothering with the Africans right now. And some more things. But tomorrow, please come through at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Arthur Watkins Jr. will be of American Freedmen Legal Fund will be joining me, and we will be discussing the importance of preserving our ancestral burial grounds. Remember, I told you about the first Black church that had a grave site attached to it, and that today sits an Asian market on it, and that the goal is to get at least a historical marker. And so I did forward the information I had to Arthur. Arthur is also working to preserve or help assist organizations and family members who are the same, even more deeper, because they know their ancestors were buried there. I found the gravesite after the bodies were exhumed, and other organizations were already actively engaged in it. But right now we need, he's just going to get it to the next step and hopefully the final conclusion. That is his area. He is the litigant. And some more things that we'll discuss, right? So tomorrow we're not going to focus on the tethers, but more of our history in preserving and our ancestors' final resting place. And also, that's a form of veneration too, if you're spiritual. I want to say thank you to everybody who came out, to my beautiful mod there, Angelique, to everybody that engaged, gave super chats. And I see y'all gave me jewels or something like that. So shout out to y'all. Also to the replay gang, I love y'all for real. Y'all go ahead and check out the links in my bio. I want to wish y'all a great, blessed, and productive and safe weekend, right? And in the event you don't make it to the live tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then be sure to catch the replay, share the resource. Thank you, Ava. Thank you, y'all. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hit in because I could talk all day. Love y'all. Be one family.
From ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.